Welcome to Magic Academy, where side-eyeing someone sparks an absolute bloodbath. The competition here is utterly ruthless, so naturally, our troll main character Sunwoo tells his classmate her ice magic is basically lukewarm water. That massive disrespect instantly triggers a death match. But honestly, our boy is just thrilled to analyze her stats. Hayoung snaps, unleashing a furious blizzard of ice bolts right at his smug face. Yet Sunwoo casually dances around them, roasting her completely predictable moves. Her blood boils. Completely enraged, she summons a massive armor-piercing ice spear and hurls it directly at his head. This time, Sunwoo barely manages to dodge, saving his own skin by a hair. She is absolutely flabbergasted by his insane agility. Refusing to lose, she charges up a devastating ice elemental Rasengan, dead set on destroying this cocky troll. She thinks he is just a pathetic runner. But suddenly, Sunwoo launches himself forward, finally dropping the joke and going on the offensive. Their spells smash together, triggering an absolutely colossal, arena-shaking mana explosion. He utterly annihilates her attack, hitting the brakes just in time to spare her gorgeous face from absolute ruin. But wait, our boy was not always this insanely overpowered before his fateful regression. He originally spawned as a literal background extra. He just wanted a cozy, lazy life, praying the main protagonist would carry the team so he could go home. Sadly, the so-called hero completely threw the match and got utterly wiped by the final boss. Without the hero, this entire fantasy realm began collapsing into literal ashes. Right on cue, the cruel system spammed him with a massive, glaring red alert. Warning, main storyline failed completely. With everything ruined, the universe forcefully triggered a server reset. Before Sunwoo could even process the tragic game over, reality broke. He randomly wakes up on a bumpy transit bus, dressed in a cheesy uniform. Stepping out, he sees the Magic Academy before his eyes. The crazy truth hits hard. He just time-traveled 7 whole years into the past. So basically, bro got isekai'd into a novel and is now a regressor too. Absolute overkill. But one massive plot hole haunts him. Hero Seojun's pathetic death should never have happened, because in original lore, that golden boy totally slaughters the final boss. His death means the timeline is utterly messed up. A terrifying, gigantic butterfly effect has hijacked the entire plot. Who knows what insane bugs exist now? Sunwoo sweats bullets, wondering if this glitched world will burn down and force another reset. But honestly, he utterly refuses to let that happen again. He is absolutely determined to babysit the protagonist. He will hard carry this storyline himself to unlock the happy ending. But to pull off this grand master plan, he desperately needs to rizz up the main cast. So, Sunwoo tries shooting his shot with a total Ice Queen, but he instantly gets slapped with a soul-crushing glare. She is utterly disgusted by his cringe attempt to act friendly during their very first awkward encounter. Our boy's ego shatters instantly. She ruthlessly roasts him for sparking conversation. When Sunwoo plays dumb, she savagely orders him to stop staring. Honestly, the sheer disrespect is absolutely legendary. A literal fireball would hurt less than that savage rejection. Sunwoo realizes that romancing these main characters will be Dark Souls level hard. Suddenly, the chaotic first class of the semester officially kicks off. The top-tier class representatives strut onto the stage. 3 absolute monsters appear. First up is the dazzling second year, Lee Seojun. He is the prized pupil of the legendary Archmage Kim Jin-chul, and basically a celebrity. He has been famous since before the story even started, Sunwoo scoffs, realizing this guy oozes that annoying, overpowered main character energy. Moving on, the second elite student is an absolutely gorgeous, fairy-like beauty. She looks like a sweet angel, but do not be fooled. Sunwoo instantly clocks her calculated, dangerously fake smiles. Finally, the third powerhouse is the legendary Rank 1 senior. This absolute beast has defended his crown for 3 straight years. He is that classic anime nerd who secretly hits like a truck. Hilariously, Sunwoo realizes this background boss is the only guy he has 0 spoilers about. As those 3 massive show-offs recite their dramatic oaths, Sunwoo spots something way more interesting. The absolute baddie sitting beside him is silently raging. She is drop-dead gorgeous, but clearly vibrating with intense, murderous jealousy. Spotting an opening, our troll drops a ridiculously cheeky comment. She bites the hook, feeling her massive pride threatened. Glaring fiercely, she demands he explain his trash talk. Smiling like an absolute menace, our boy activates his ultimate trap card. Pumping up his Riz over 9,000, he boldly declares she is way hotter and stronger than those arrogant representatives. Instead of blushing, she thinks he is a massive creep. She assumes he is just a blind simp who knows nothing about magic. Sunwoo plays the clueless fool, but shamelessly doubles down on his unhinged flirting. He smirks, claiming his divine intuition never misses a beautiful powerhouse. Total failure. His legendary Riz attempt crashes and burns completely. Rather than falling for him, this fiery tsundere absolutely explodes at his shameless flirting. Bro violently realizes his romantic game is absolute garbage. Desperately switching tactics before she murders him, he randomly asks if she is stressed out about choosing her future career path. A massive blunder. A random bottom tier, nobody absolutely should not know her deep secrets. Her eyes widen in pure shock as his creepy stalker trivia suddenly jogs her memory. She suddenly recognizes this trash tier student. Flashing him an icy murderous glare, she violently threatens him to keep his mouth shut forever. She aggressively storms off, leaving our heartbroken boy to accept one devastating reality check. He possesses absolutely zero main character Riz. He literally ruined his chances before the tutorial even finished. Meanwhile, the brutal new semester officially kicks off with a ruthless, high-stakes combat assessment on day 1. This terrifying exam dictates their entire academy hierarchy. The social pressure is suffocating as students are forced to flex their stats. While the weaklings sweat bullets, our boy Sunwoo leans back, acting completely arrogant and unbothered. He fully plans to completely hijack the top 10 rankings. In his previous sweaty life, he casually rejected elite guild offers just to hit B rank. So honestly, this academy stuff is literal child's play. He refuses to look like a basic mob character against these pathetic losers. Bro is fully prepared to hand out reality checks to the entire campus. The brutal exams begin with a cocky female mage. She instantly spams a devastating barrage of ice bolts. The target dummies are completely shredded into frozen confetti. The massive crowd of desperate students completely loses their minds over her terrifying magical destruction. No surprise there, she is a certified elite. Next, the system calls up the rest of the terrified second-year victims. The very first heavy hitter to step forward is the fiery tsundere goddess who completely rejected our boy's Riz earlier. She unleashes a blindingly hot storm of pure fire magic. The sheer heat drops every jaw in the arena. Her raw, monstrous mana output alone solidifies her status as an absolute professional tier mage. Honestly, if that cheat code protagonist Seojun did not exist, Yura would be the undisputed queen of this school. Speaking of the devil, the golden boy swordsman gracefully drops into the combat arena. Boom! He instantly explodes forward with godly, untraceable speed. His blade dances, mercilessly slicing the running target dummies into absolute ribbons with terrifying back-to-back strikes. This absolute monster finishes the entire stage in seconds. His flawless speed leaves the fiery baddie completely paralyzed with shock. Sure, she is a genius prodigy in her own right, but this golden boy Seojun is already fighting like a legendary endgame master. She has spent her entire life suffering in his colossal shadow, so her bitter jealousy makes perfect sense. But enough about them. The loudspeakers finally call our arrogant troll main character to the blood-stained stage. Cracking his knuckles, Sunwoo smirks, fully ready to unleash absolute chaos. Up in the stands, the snobby examiners sigh, writing him off as just another pathetic, zero-potential background character who is inevitably bound to fail. Their trash data claims he is just a basic buff magic user, so they are totally baffled when he casually steps up empty-handed. The heavy dummies materialize. Instantly, our boy raises his bare hand. The professors mock his foolish stance, calling his magic completely useless. But their smug faces instantly twist in pure, unadulterated horror. Bro literally summons a swirling god-tier Rasengan right in front of their deeply confused eyes. He actually compressed raw, violent manifestation magic straight into his palm. The very first impossible step of this godly art is forcing chaotic mana into a dense, hyper-pressurized, physical form. And that insane control is just the warm-up for the explosive release. This is a high-tier technique that only legendary war veterans dare to use. Watching this so-called weakling casually wield god-level magic leaves everyone absolutely speechless. Ara and Seojun froze. How could a second year wield such absolute mastery? Sunwoo unleashed his ultimate strike, fully intending to vaporize those dummies into pure ash. But in a brutal plot twist, his epic attack fizzled out completely. The entire crowd erupted, roaring with absolute mockery at his pathetic display. Mocked for having zero mana, our guy's grand attempt to flex on the freshman ended in absolute disaster. He literally dug his own grave trying to look cool. Suddenly, brilliant blue screens flooded his vision. Sunwoo cursed the heavens. Why couldn't this useless system awaken 5 minutes ago to save his shattered pride? Meanwhile, our protagonist stared at the glowing interface in his dorm. Why activate now? This massive deviation from the original novel's plotline had his mind spinning in absolute chaos. Those earlier notifications? They signaled the awakening of his outsider's privilege trait. Just like that, the wheels of fate turned. initiating his brand new main scenario sequence. He earned 3,000 points for his 7-year regression, but the system ruthlessly gifted him the jester's talent. The universe was literally paying him to be a professional clown. Points rained down, but Sunwoo was utterly traumatized by the crowd's brutal mockery. His face was completely exposed. Acting like a mysterious shadow was totally ruined forever. Worst of all, Seojun, the actual protagonist, was watching him. 4 main characters locked onto his existence, instantly blessing our boy with a whopping 10,000 points. To spend this universal currency, he needed to fully unlock Outsider's Privilege, a legendary skill granted only to a Transmigrator who got brutally yeeted into this fantasy dimension. Sunwoo was the sole chosen one. By racking up achievements, he hoarded points. The golden rule here? Skyrocketing your fame and infamy directly translates to absolute power. More reputation meant infinite wealth. Even better, Outsider's Privilege granted access to the legendary point shop. This overpowered system was about to completely shatter the Academy's hierarchy. He could buy god-tier skills and items with one currency. Sunwoo loved the cash, but hated that the entire student body had publicly crowned him the king of jesters. Post-regression brain fog made him forget his pathetic mana reserves. Yet, he had never basked in this much intense spotlight, not even in his past legendary lives. Honestly, it wasn't too shabby with all those sweet points. Ready to assess his reality, he summoned the glowing status window to reveal his painfully current profile. Tragically, his godly stats were wiped clean. Seething with rage over starting from rock bottom, Sunwoo took a deep breath. He locked in, suddenly struck by a revelation. This was the ultimate chance to min-max his stats using future knowledge. In this novel's universe, 4 grand mage paths reigned supreme. Those legendary paths were Enhancement, Manifestation, Support, and Summoning. Enhancement boosted brute physical combat. Meanwhile, Manifestation was the pure, destructive materialization of raw magical energy. It was the ultimate, explosive artillery style. Summoning and Support were for edgy kids hiding behind beasts. But Sunwoo's true calling? Unquestionably, the flashy path of Manifestation. Why? Because flashy spells looked insanely cool. As a manifestation mage, boosting his mana stat was his absolute priority. Suddenly, the glowing system chimed in with a massive update. Over 300 people were utterly shook by his chaotic stage stunt. Earning infamy meant raking in sweet points. Maybe embracing his destiny as a complete goofball wasn't a curse after all. Bro realized this trolling was an absolute jackpot. Instantly, his influence counter skyrocketed past 400 victims. That completely eclipsed the freshman count. Sweating bullets, Sunwoo checked the Academy's online stream. Mother of God. His humiliating disaster had been broadcast live to the entire world. Talk about suffering from success. He was famous, but entirely as a living meme. Still, those glorious points sparked a devious idea. Could he farm even more infamy? Channeling his inner keyboard warrior, Sunwoo violently mashed the interface. He plotted to unleash an even greater spectacle by buying a secret weapon. The very next morning, the entire Academy threw him judging side-eyes. Was that the clown from yesterday? Last night, Sunwoo had ruthlessly trolled every online forum, desperately farming that sweet attention. It netted him 5,000 points. Striding into the classroom, he instantly became the center of gravity. One blonde hotshot stepped up, but instead of throwing a punch, he burst out laughing, praising Sunwoo for being the class jester. They wildly speculated about his pathetic mana, openly mocking our boy as a talentless, zero-skill trust fund baby. Meet Park In-hwan, a complete idiot destined to become an early-game psycho villain. Knowing better than to trigger a death flag, Sunwoo kept his mouth strictly glued shut. But this French fry-haired bastard pushed his luck. He officially crowned Sunwoo the class punching bag, demanding our boy act as his personal lapdog on command. The absolute audacity. Suddenly, the charismatic Seojun stepped into the fray. The protagonist was visibly furious at In-hwan's relentless bullying, but the arrogant lackey just scoffed, boldly taunting the righteous hero. He mocked Seojun's holy hero complex, spitting that commoners wouldn't just bow to his genius status. Before Seojun could unleash his aura, the cowards desperately scrambled away, leaving Sunwoo alone with the fated protagonist. Seojun gently checked on his condition, his eyes flashing with recognition from that disastrous mana test ceremony. He definitely saw that viral livestream. Sunwoo was internally screaming, feeling as exposed as if his search history leaked. Then, Seojun played the perfect knight in shining armor. He comforted Sunwoo, calling the video uploader a complete trash mob. As Seojun turned to leave, Sunwoo desperately gripped his arm. And then, he aggressively asked Seojun to do it with him. The romantic tension skyrocketed to pure BL levels. Playing the tragic damsel, Sunwoo practically begged the overpowered protagonist to party up for the semester's brutal dungeon raid. The genius was utterly stunned by this audacity. He cautiously questioned the motive. Sunwoo flashed a confident smirk, promising infinite benefits for both of them. Seojun hesitated, but firmly rejected him. He basically called our boy completely useless. Refusing to yield, Sunwoo pushed forward, holding up 2 fingers with an absolute master plan. Amused, Seojun offered him a chance to speak. You'd expect some massive brain manipulation tactic right now. But nope. Bro's first grand argument was literally that he was dead last in the entire second year. Seojun cringed at that deeply embarrassing flex. But then, Sunwoo dropped the ultimate system loophole. In joint tests, if the #1 genius carried the absolute worst trash, both would receive a massive, game-breaking score multiplier. This hidden mechanic totally baffled Seojun. Still, carrying this noob was way too risky. Sensing doubt, Sunwoo immediately launched his second, devastating counterattack. Ara had already recruited 2 bottom feeders. She was ruthlessly exploiting the system. With her absolute mastery over AoE magic, she was perfectly geared to sweep the entire exam. Then, our shameless troll whipped out a completely uninvited third reason. Pointing at his own chest, he deadass swore to the protagonist that his skills were actually god tier for a bottom ranker. But remember, Seojun wasn't some soft-hearted shonen hero fueled by the power of friendship. He straight up burst out laughing right in Sunwoo's delusional face. However, he accepts the alliance with one hilarious demand. The golden boy Seojun must play recruiter and gather their squad. It is a completely effortless victory for our brilliant troll. They seal the deal with a handshake. The system chimes in, noting Seojun is practically captivated by our main character. Cut to the classroom, where the professor is lecturing about the ancient times when only 2 magic systems existed, instead of 4. This dual structure ultimately shattered for one fatal reason. She tests the class, but our guy is literally smurfing. Sunwoo casually flexes his knowledge, explaining how Holcomb, the absolute pioneer of the 18th century, completely rewrote magical history. The professor keeps rambling on, while Sunwoo secretly contemplates how these brutal magical formulas would break even a prodigy like Seojun. But our absolute troll had an unfair advantage. His outsider privilege granted him instant magical translation. He could convert energy effortlessly. Bro is a walking cheat code. The class starts calling him the magical Hermione, though some bitter haters still mock his dead last ranking. This completely annoys Sunwoo. The bell finally rings, signaling the glorious lunch hour. The starving crowd pours out, but suddenly, Seojun smoothly snatches our boy for a victory meal. Cut to the cafeteria, where these 2 absolute legends stride toward their table. Another student frantically waves them down, desperately trying to get their attention. Enter Shin Youngjin. He is a major player in this crazy plot, and literally Seojun's best bro. Tragically, these top rankers had to break up for this exam to maximize their survival points. Sitting right across the table, Sunwoo suddenly becomes the center of attention thanks to that viral clip. Youngjin is absolutely mind-blown by this unexpected bromance. When he discovers that Sunwoo officially joined forces with Seojun, his jaw hits the floor. Youngjin thinks it is absolutely hilarious for his elite buddy to sweat this much for the #1 spot, considering he could win blindfolded. But our main character shamelessly admits he is totally terrified of Ara's psychotic grind set to completely crush them. He spills the tea about her exploiting 2 absolute rookies for maximum point boosts, completely shocking Youngjin. Meanwhile, as they awkwardly feast, a mysterious girl intensely glares at them. She suddenly connects the dots about that infamous internet post on the Great Sages forum. Her friend asks why she is fiercely staring, and she plays it cool. But inside, she is completely losing her mind over how Sunwoo seduced the brilliant Seojun into teaming up. Scene change to the training facility, where our guy tests his legendary manifestation magic. He literally forms a swirling sphere of energy and casually blasts it. This epic technique is trajectory manipulation. The explosive attack perfectly obliterates the dummy for everyone to see. The surrounding classmates are absolutely stunned by his glow-up. Sunwoo secretly revels in their dropping jaws. Before his soul got dragged back 7 years, he foolishly dumped everything into raw stats. Tragically, stat padding becomes criminally expensive over time. That terrible strategy left him permanently hard stuck at a pathetic rank, just like a massive noob in a brutal role-playing game. But this timeline? Sunwoo is rewriting the meta. No more brainless stat dumping. He plans to massively skyrocket his power by absolutely abusing overpowered traits and legendary artifacts. He is forging an unbreakable foundation instead of recklessly leveling up. Sunwoo desperately searches for a hidden mana trait from the future timeline, but his eyes widen in pure disbelief. He uncovers a glorious new passive skill. This beauty amplifies his magical damage by up to 15% based on the terrain. Afterward, he instantly snags a heavenly artifact, the returnee's wristwatch. This broken accessory skyrockets his health and mana regeneration by a ridiculous 200%. Sadly, our guy had to ruthlessly pawn off an elite trait. Goodbye, Master Chef skill. Gordon Ramsay definitely will not be hiring this troll anytime soon, but sacrificing his cooking dreams for massive points was the ultimate big brain play. His current baseline is infinitely more terrifying than his past life. Suddenly, Sunwoo's phone aggressively vibrates. Who on earth is sliding into his messages? His jaw absolutely drops. Staring at the blinding screen, Sunwoo realizes he was just dragged into a squad chat. Ha-young, Ji-hyuk, and Jin-tae. He literally only recognizes Ha-young, since they are complete bottom-tier scrubs. But Ha-young is secretly a future powerhouse. Currently, she is an adorable bum with zero combat ability, completely useless. Meanwhile, Golden Boy Seojun warmly demands everyone expose their hidden talents. Perfect team bonding time. Ji-hyuk awkwardly reveals his support manifestation. Ha-young nervously admits she rocks ice magic as a pure support class. Lastly, Jin-tae flexes his raw physical enhancement buff. Unfortunately, Jin-tae has absolutely zero magical finesse. Our legendary troll finally texts his abilities, while Ji-hyuk ruthlessly roasts him for acting so incredibly mysterious. Literally, the whole academy saw his embarrassing magic. Successfully rage-baited, Sunwoo schemes to use the overpowered Seojun as their main damage dealer, turning everyone else into his loyal meat shields. To crush Ara's ruthless squad, they need absolute perfection. Sunwoo starts sweating over her secret roster. Scene shift to the chaotic training fields, where absolute magical warfare is practically unfolding. An instructor brutally roasts some random extra for terribly slow spell manipulation. Meanwhile, the fiery tsundere Ara is completely stealing the spotlight with an absolute magical masterpiece. She aggressively unleashes a gorgeous, explosive bombardment. The crowd simps hard for her breathtaking talent. Yet, despite her dazzling display, her raw magical reserves are still somewhat laughably shallow. Suddenly, our smurfing protagonist casually snipes a target from the backlines. The entire room completely freezes. He beautifully executed an advanced manifestation strike, instantly forcing massive respect from everyone. The gorgeous professor witnessed his insane glow-up, from failing miserably at the ceremony to effortlessly spamming magical spheres with zero mana. His ability to violently fix his own flaws is breathtaking. His pure genius in overcoming his massive handicaps leaves the professor completely flustered. As the golden sunset hits, the grueling specialty class finally wraps up with sweet farewells. The exhausted extras immediately flee the classroom. Despite the torture, the sweet thrill of magic kept them hyped. Suddenly, the lovely professor warmly blocks Sunwoo for a private little chat. She sweetly showers him with compliments, completely amazed by his psychotic daily grind. Her sparkling eyes playfully pry into his sudden obsession with hardcore mana cultivation techniques. She instantly noticed his hidden training. Sunwoo internally panics, realizing his beautiful mentor perfectly diagnosed his embarrassingly low mana pool from before. With a cheeky grin, he shamelessly confesses. Even with his insane trolling, she gently admits his magical stamina is still tragically pathetic for his tier. The brutal reality? There is no magical shortcut for endless raw energy. He absolutely has to suffer through the brutal grind. But our absolute madman thrives on the punishing struggle. Blushing slightly, the professor suddenly gifts him a cute friendship bracelet. Plot twist. It is a rare artifact designed for perfect mana breathing. Sunwoo completely freezes, nervously asking if a student can accept such a romantic-looking cheat item. She giggles warmly. She playfully claims it is just a garbage F-rank training toy. Sunwoo gratefully snatches the loot, bowing to his lovely benefactor as she cheerfully waves him off into the sunset. Our grinning troll loves free loot, but suddenly, a terrifying aura blocks his path. Ara, the absolute tsundere who completely ignored him earlier, is now awkwardly forcing a tense conversation. Naturally, our savage boy instantly rage-baits her, mercilessly bringing up her past cold shoulder. She barely dodges the emotional damage, then casually drops the bomb about his elite team alliance. She viciously roasts him as a shameless parasite, sucking off the top ranker. But before storming off, Ara aggressively vows that the absolute #1 crown belongs to her. He tells him to snap out of his delusions. Honestly, this guy is just as confused as we are by her incredibly fragile ego. By Thursday morning, the entire squad finally gathers in one spot. For the event, Seojun is thrilled they are finally meeting up, hoping for a legendary semester. But Ji-hyuk immediately starts trolling, sarcastically calling their squad completely unique. Why? Because they have both the top ranker and the absolute bottom ranker. He immediately mocks Sunwoo, reminding everyone the guy could not even cast a single basic spell. During the exams, it is painfully obvious this dude hates our main character. Jin Tae suddenly jumps in, shamelessly declaring that Seojun will just hard carry their dead weight anyway. Talk about proud freeloaders. Then there is Hae-young, a total background character right now. But what really bothers Sunwoo is how wildly different this team composition feels. Hae-young being here makes total sense, but the other trolls are a massive wildcard. Suddenly, the strict examiner claps his hands, demanding everyone's immediate attention. He breaks down the rules of the deadly exploration event. Classes will run twice a day, and their only goal is simply surviving the first basement floor on day 1. Next up is the grading system. Speedrunning the dungeon equals massive bonus points. Then comes the rank adjustment score, meaning carrying lower-ranked scrubs actually boosts your total score. Finally, there is the personal contribution score. This artificial dungeon literally tracks everything, raining bonus points on whoever does the absolute most work. Safety is allegedly a priority. With the boring tutorial over, the real dungeon raid finally begins. Meanwhile, the monitoring teachers grab their popcorn to watch the chaos unfold. Instructor Yang arrives after throwing the kids to the wolves. These degenerate teachers are literally placing bets on the winners. Naturally, everyone is instantly locking in Ara's overpowered team. They all know she is going to absolutely dominate. With everyone picking Group 7, the gambling seems rigged. That is, until the specialty teacher smirks, boldly betting everything on Seojun's squad. Even Sir Jang calls Miss Lee completely crazy. Ara's team of scrubs is still leagues better than Seojun's group. The hilarious tragedy of Group 3 is their absolute zero teamwork. Seojun is an enhancement fighter, and he cannot carry forever. Miss Lee knows his combat style is purely built for solo slaughter. Without backup, he will just get swarmed. Meanwhile, Ara is a walking nuclear bomb of area of effect magic, speed running to the middle of the floor at absolute record pace. Miss Lee fully admits Ara is grinding like crazy for the top spot, but she still believes in her underdog bet. Back inside the dungeon, our main character is casually slaughtering monsters. His absolutely useless party members are just leeching free experience. Jin Tae and Ji Hyuk are shamelessly enjoying the VIP carry service, happily coasting their way through the level. Halfway through, these clowns start wondering about the boss. They arrogantly assume a beginner floor cannot have anything too scary, but while they are busy laughing it off, Hae-young nervously reminds them that a boss is still a boss. She actually asks Sunwoo, who casually predicts a giant wolf. Ji Hyuk immediately turns around, scoffing like a hater. But our boy stays completely silent about his future knowledge. Ji Hyuk glares, convinced Sunwoo is just a pathetic, manipulative liar. His toxic rage baiting actually starts working. Sunwoo is getting incredibly annoyed. Thankfully, Seojun plays the peacemaker, forcing them to keep moving forward. But suddenly, our golden boy halts the entire group. The troll Ji Hyuk instantly mocks the top ranker for being scared, but Seojun's sharp instincts sense a hidden trap. Hae-young nervously peeks ahead, wondering what is wrong. Boom! A massive magic circle blocks their path. Jin Tae starts whining immediately. Even the loudmouth Ji Hyuk starts shaking in his boots. Surprisingly, the bravest one here is our underestimated boy. Sunwoo casually steps up to inspect the glowing runes. Ignoring Seojun's protective warnings, his experienced eyes realize this trap is not lethal at all. It is just a pathetic blocking barrier. The hater Ji Hyuk refuses to believe him, but Sunwoo literally remembers this exact magic from his past life. To prove it, he reaches out and casually touches the invisible force field. Sunwoo flexes his big brain, deeply annoying the toxic duo. Jin Tae panics, crying about being trapped. That is when Seojun decides to radiate absolute main character energy. Gripping his sword, Seojun explodes with a blinding golden aura. He lunges forward like a majestic beast, ripping a massive slash straight through the magical wall. The squad is absolutely awestruck, but comedic timing strikes as the barrier instantly heals itself shut. Still, our stubborn golden retriever of a hero refuses to give up. He prepares another epic strike, but Ji Hyuk suddenly pushes past him. The arrogant support mage wants his cool hero moment. He dramatically places his hands on the glowing magic circle, and absolutely nothing happens. Bro was posing for literally zero reason. The system says it will take him 40 agonizing minutes. Sunwoo mercifully pushes the clown aside. "Step back, I will handle this," he declares. Touching the runes, Sunwoo triggers his ultimate cheat code. His glorious outsider privilege activates the holy auto-translation feature. The complex magic instantly morphs into plain Korean text. It turns from ancient sorcery into a child's word puzzle. With a quick mental shuffle, Sunwoo flawlessly hacks the magical code. The impenetrable wall shatters into dust. Seojun and even the toxic Jin Tae are left completely speechless. Their pure shock triggers the system, gifting Sunwoo 5,000 juicy reward points. Even crazier, a brand new romantic interest level feature unlocks for the protagonist. Riding that high, The squad finally crashes headfirst into the dreaded boss room, and just as our resident prophet predicted, a monstrous giant wolf awaits. This ferocious beast radiates absolute terror, paralyzing the scrubs. Roaring, the massive demon pounces straight at them, but Seojun is already in the air. He blitzes the beast with a hurricane of golden slashes, dicing the boss into absolute ribbons. Bro even strikes a dramatic pose afterward. He literally zero-diffed the floor boss. With the dungeon cleared, the squad struts out of the basement like champions. The examiner claps, offering them a surprising congratulations. They bagged second place for week 1. Seojun is absolutely flabbergasted. How are they only second? Well, it turns out Ara's monstrous squad decimated the entire dungeon. They beat the clock by 30 whole minutes. While the scrubs tremble at Ara's overpowered talent, she is out here speedrunning the death trap like a casual video game. Despite coming in second, Seojun warmly praises Sunwoo. He knows our boy's epic hacking skills saved them. Without that barrier bypass, they never would have claimed the number 2 spot. Seojun actually blames himself for being too weak. But Hae-young quickly swoops in, blushing as she reminds him he literally hard-carried their useless behinds today. Sunwoo smiles, reminding everyone it is only week 1. They have plenty of time for their epic revenge arc. Suddenly, an intense older woman approaches, locking her eyes purely on Sunwoo. She is the elite support department teacher, and she corners him with an incredibly bold proposition. She demands he ditch his current path and transfer to her department immediately. Sunwoo blinks, utterly confused by this aggressive recruitment. Then, he ruthlessly rejects her right to her face. The haughty teacher is absolutely stunned by his massive disrespect. Desperate, she screams her ultimate sugar mommy offer, a massive special talent scholarship worth exactly 50 million won. She truly thought cold hard cash would buy his loyalty, yet our stubborn male lead rejects her flat out. The background characters are absolutely baffled. To them, turning down this golden ticket is pure madness, since his manifestation magic looks like total trash. They figure he should have just taken the free ride. Meanwhile, as these extras keep barking, the elegant Ara finally chimes in. She secretly mocks our boy's foolishness, knowing special talents gorge on premium perks. It beats a basic scholarship any day, but oozing shameless confidence, Sunwoo declares his loyalty to manifestation. His zero hesitation totally breaks her brain. Scene change. The beautiful Seon casually crosses paths with our lead. She flashes a sweet greeting, but hilariously botches his damn name. Our deadpan hero is forced to awkwardly correct this blushing beauty. What truly shocks her is seeing this guy scrubbing the floors like Cinderella. No hidden agenda here, folks. Our quirky hero just transformed the filthy room into a sparkling wonderland purely on instinct. His apparent kindness leaves her starry-eyed as she waves a sweet goodbye. But plot twist, this girl is secretly a two-faced menace. Internally, she is laughing at our clueless janitor. However, the almighty system logs her fake admiration, blessing him with 1,000 sweet points. But the hilarious truth? He was only speedrunning his snail bride achievement. That is the only reason he was scrubbing. Humming a cheerful tune, he grabs his mop bucket and bounces, totally unaware that a mysterious guy is secretly fanboying over him from the shadows. Back in class, the lecture covers monster types, your basic beasts, beastmen, and aerial annoyances. But the absolute nightmare fuel of this universe? The terrifying creatures known as Majins. The professor quizzes the room on their deadly reputation. Without missing a beat, Sunwoo flexes his nerd knowledge. It is their terrifying ability to drop human disguises and trigger a savage berserker state. Blending in perfectly with normal folks makes them walking disasters. These vile parasites are the ultimate evil, chugging human blood like juice boxes and mind-controlling weaker dungeon trash. They lurk right beside us in broad daylight. With zero physical differences, picking out a Majin is completely impossible. These freaks only drop their flawless masks when pushed to the absolute brink. That is when their eyes bleed into pitch-black voids. This lore drop triggers Sunwoo's meta-knowledge. He remembers a massive plot event hitting this weekend. The gang faces their very first Majin. This epic clash cements the main character, Seojun, as a legendary rookie who soloed a boss. Our boy knows the overpowered protagonist will probably curb-stomp this dark threat without breaking a sweat. But the butterfly effect has him sweating bullets. To prevent the plot from derailing, he needs to monitor the battlefield. Yet, his most critical quest right now, grinding for that sweet, sweet cash. He needs fat stacks to back up Seojun's heroic journey. Scene transition. We catch Sunwoo deep in intense meditation. He is fiercely grinding his mana core, and while in the zone, ding! The holy system announces a juicy stat boost and showers bonus points from his overpowered trait. Sunwoo finally opens his eyes, smirking like a proud gamer who just farmed a massive mana payload. But wait, a much flashier notification steals his attention. His beloved core trait has naturally evolved to grade 2. And with this glorious level up, the legendary Heart of Great Nature skill is unlocked. Sunwoo is vibrating with hype, praising his own galaxy brain for picking this path. Sure, it packs a brutal 24-hour cooldown timer, but it unleashes a godly 1000% healing buff for 60 seconds. It is the ultimate clutch ability for deadly boss fights. Sunwoo feels incredibly smug for trusting his manifestation magic. Then, that tempting support class offer crosses his mind. Honestly, the only reason he shattered those illusions was his literal cheat system. Without those broken gaming skills, the elite support department would instantly reject him. Since the dude cannot cast a single natural shield, it sucks waving goodbye to that fat scholarship. Bro is sitting on a pathetic 30,001 balance. He is tragically broke. Desperation kicks in as his brain scrambles for a rapid cash glitch. Dungeon diving, slaying horrific beasts, or looting ancient relics? Nah, those death wishes are way too sketchy. The only logical grind for our broke hero is dominating the magical tower. Even as a student, he is dead set on steamrolling the beginner floors. Sadly, reality hits him like a truck. Bro is legally underage, making a real hunter license totally impossible. Backed against a wall, a brilliant troll idea strikes our genius lead. Cut to the staff room, where the teachers are obsessing over a certain someone. Sunwoo is officially the hottest gossip in the academy. These educators are stalking his wholesome deeds, buzzing over his Cinderella cleaning routine. They are totally charmed by his galaxy brain answers and model student energy. His homeroom teacher, Miss Lee, is beaming with pure pride. She smugly roasts the support instructor for failing to steal her star pupil. Honestly, the whole faculty is shedding tears of joy over such a dedicated scholar. It is insanely refreshing to teach someone not utterly useless. Meanwhile, our boy Sunwoo's ego is inflating like a balloon. Raking in secret achievements from oblivious teachers has him convinced he is a reincarnated mastermind. Firing up the magical interface, he aggressively opens the point shop. Dropping a staggering 10,000 points, Sunwoo gambles it all on a high-stakes purchase, praying for some seriously legendary loot. Muttering crazy plans in the hallway, Saturday finally dawns. A mysteriously tall figure casually approaches the formidable tower entrance. The beefy security guard barks for identification, prompting the stranger to smoothly reveal his hunter card. Bam! Sunwoo drops a flawless rank C mage card, proudly flexing his epic new alias, Jin Woo. Every solo leveling fan is absolutely screaming. The grumpy inspector narrows his eyes at the suspicious plastic. He ruthlessly jams the card into his high-tech magic scanner. Our boy Sunwoo is internally sweating oceans, terrified this troll disguise will get him arrested. But praise the heavens, the database actually flashes a green approval. The mighty gates swing wide open. Even with his galaxy brain scheme, the sheer panic nearly gave him a heart attack. Remember that 10,000 point gamble? Bro literally bought a perfectly forged existence from the system store. He custom built his stats like an RPG character, bagging an official spellcaster license as a bonus. Now, hunter cards in this universe are famously uncrackable, forged with a highly complex mana formula. Creating a counterfeit is considered absolutely impossible. Oh, and his edgy disguise? Homeboy equipped hypnosis glasses to fake his hair color without a drop of dye. Inside the towering dungeon, Sunwoo faces a ticking clock to hit the Han River. The real hero fights the boss at 9:30 sharp. The tower accepts his fake profile, instantly granting clearance up to floor 27. Stepping onto the magic circle, our fake Jin Woo commands a warp to floor 10. Sadly, this zone was conquered ages ago. Farming a cleared stage means the system will heavily nerf his precious loot. But our mad lad could not care less, jumping straight in. His true objective ignores those basic clearance rewards. In this fantasy universe, convenient warp portals are stationed inside every single massive tower. They guarantee rapid transit for the brave hunters. Countless towers dot the landscape, categorized by terrifying monster variants and sadistic traps, relying completely on his meta-knowledge of the novel's side stories. This specific Tower of Trials is a notorious death trap. Elite guilds actively avoid this nightmare due to its absurd scaling. But wielding the power of pure spoilers, Sunwoo already locked onto his exact first prey. Enter the three-eyed great wolf, oozing pure bloodlust. The feral beast violently launches forward to shred him into ribbons. However, our fake C-rank mage barely yawns, blasting a single manifestation spell that vaporizes the mutt instantly. Luckily, these instance tower mobs are heavily nerfed, making grinding them an absolute walk in the park. The true nightmare of this dungeon run? Surviving the diabolical booby traps and impossibly complex magic puzzles guarding the paths. While geniuses would cry blood solving these, Sunwoo breezes through them, all thanks to his broken auto-translation cheat. Bro is literally running ChatGPT and Google Translate to hack ancient sorcery. Finishing with tons of time left, our boy heads to his real target. The camera pans down to the breezy Han River. We shift to the true main character, Seojun, chilling alongside young Jin. The two best bros are just catching a relaxing breeze. Seojun gets drafted into photographer duty, snapping aesthetic shots to immortalize their peaceful afternoon. Two dudes soaking up a perfectly chill slice of life moment. Deep inside the tower, Sunwoo is on a monster hunting grind. Lady Luck smiles, dropping a glowing magic crystal shard. Travel expenses covered. Now, time to sniff out the hidden traps nearby. Running his hands along the stone wall, a mechanism clicks. The system chimes, unlocking Barrier Release Specialist as he exits the Grand Hall. Stepping into the hidden floor. Welcome to the inner world. The air itself hums with overflowing mystery attribute mana. Sunwoo breathes in the energy, thoroughly pleased with these epic results. This secret realm was his ultimate goal all along. The floor's ethereal spirit descends, addressing him as the challenger of the tower, before commanding him to prove his true caliber. A massive angelic statue erupts with blinding aura, stunning Sunwoo. The surrounding rose garden bursts into magical bloom. Fluttering from the petals emerge the legendary fairies of flowers. Sure, these angry Tinkerbell clones are merely C-rank trash, but their swarm numbers are a nightmare. These monsters go totally berserk upon spotting humans. But hey, no need to panic. Sunwoo blasts one away with magic. He instantly realizes survival depends entirely on his speed. Going full tryhard, he dashes around, violently spamming energy beams in every single direction. Playing the odds against the scattering swarm, our mage rapidly configures a complex magic circle. But here is the massive catch. Slaughtering every single fairy won't actually clear the stage. The spirit demanded proof of caliber, not a mindless monster massacre. Realizing the true objective, Sunwoo decides to flip the script and totally exploit his overpowered outsider's privilege. His brain goes into overdrive, decoding the magic formula in seconds. He effortlessly tampers with the barrier to prove himself. Honestly, Sunwoo barely sweats, easily wielding the powers he rightfully earned. All thanks to Truck-kun violently sending him to this world. The system rings, stage cleared. He bags the tower's ultimate recognition, plus a juicy 10,000 points. The Tower of Proof blesses our boy with an epic adaptive trait. Proof of the Tower. Loot rains down from his conquest. He instantly secures god-tier buffs, including a massive spike to his mana recovery speed. His magic power and raw output absolutely skyrocket. The Tower Spirit graciously applauds his legendary achievement. Meanwhile, let's instantly cut back to the drama on Seojun's side. Festival fireworks illuminate the night sky, but our hero is glued to their recent photos. Suddenly, he spots a highly suspicious figure. As young Jin zooms in, sheer horror washes over his face. That cringe fedora-wearing magician? Actually a terrifying black-eyed Majin. Across the venue, Sunwoo spots this demonic freak and freezes. With Seojun totally missing, the Majin shambles like a zombie, moments from going berserk. Time is drastically running out as 9:30 approaches. Seojun is nowhere to be found, leaving our boy deeply wondering, should he dive into the danger first? But wait, this is a crucial piece of the main storyline. Rudely interrupting canon events could completely derail the entire plot progression. The Majin twitches erratically, drawing an innocent passerby to check on him out of goodwill. Seriously though, am I the only one noticing this freak Chad mewing everyone with that chiseled jawline? Sunwoo panics in pure terror. The innocent civilian violently coughs up crimson, his pure kindness rewarded with a brutal stab from the Majin. The beast casually tosses him like a rag doll, leaving a gruesome blood trail. Next, the monster completely loses its mind and violently shreds its shirt. Bro is insanely shredded. I swear, even his abs have abs. A terrified girl freezes right behind the roaring monster. The Majin twists around, locking sights on its next victim. Absolute panic erupts as the crowd realizes the deadly reality. Our boy's patience violently snaps. Gripping a spear, he knows he must step in. Mentally screaming to hell with the storyline, Sunwoo dashes toward the girl. Meanwhile, on the flip side, young Jin and Seojun frantically show the image to the Mage Association's counterterrorism task force. Agent Hyunsoo takes one deadly serious look and instantly confirms. It is a murderous Majin. The brutal challenge is finding him now. The worst part about this packed festival? A bloodthirsty Majin's physical power drastically multiplies after devouring fresh human blood. Suddenly, Seojun's awakened senses violently kick into overdrive, detecting a massive dark energy pool. Hyunsoo feels the sinister mana and charges forward, The fleeing crowd has zero clue who our boy is. The Majin is literally inches from devouring the screaming woman. Right as the fatal slash drops, Sunwoo violently hurls a heavy table. The brutal distraction gives the terrified woman just enough time to escape, but the relentless beast lunges after her. Sunwoo desperately concentrates his manifested technique. He knows damn well this Majin is a lethal B-rank nightmare. Channeling everything into a single swing, he ruthlessly targets the Majin's absolute blind spot. The roaring energy blast rockets straight into the monster's head, dealing critical damage to gain its aggro. Sunwoo drops into a combat stance, patiently waiting. As the nightmare horrifically turns around, half of its demonic face is charred. But terrifyingly, its insane regeneration instantly stitches the burnt flesh back together. Sunwoo is in seriously deep trouble. Brain destruction failed. Absolutely enraged, the Majin erupts with a suffocating purple aura, chasing our mage. With a ground-shattering leap, the monstrous creature violently jumps our boy. Brutally driven into a corner, he triggers his ultimate trump card. Heart of Mother Nature, activate. His mana recovery speed explosively spikes by 1000% for exactly 60 seconds. Mana overflowing, he manifests a barrage of massive energy blasts simultaneously. He does not even need to overpower this beast. He is just desperately stalling for time. The blinding destructive energy slams into the Majin's body, searing the monster with flesh-melting burns. The towering beast crashes down as Sunwoo mercilessly spams even more explosive blasts, forcing the screeching Majin into a desperate defensive block. Our boy is totally fine with this. As long as he violently maintains distance, he survives. His crosshairs remain locked onto the Majin's head. Landing a clean hit is painfully difficult. But the endless enraged monster is overwhelmed by Sunwoo's explosive barrage. Looks like he's dominating, right? Tragically, that 1 minute vanishes in a flash. Mana depleted, our boy is instantly forced onto the back foot, while his demonic opponent regenerates at the speed of light. The Majin is fully restored to maximum health, but right before it launches a fatal strike, boom! Agent Hyunsoo blitzes in with a dazzling severing slash, completely decapitating the creature and tearing it limb from limb. Threat absolutely neutralized. The bloody chaos is finally under strict control. The elite agent deeply thanks our young mage for miraculously holding the line. He asks for Sunwoo's identity license for the official reward. Our boy casually hands over his lowly C-rank card. The elite agent is absolutely stunned, fully expecting at least a B-rank powerhouse. Out of breath, Youngjin and Seojun finally crash the scene. Sunwoo flinches. Seriously? It is a colossal pain in the ass they only showed up just now. They were definitely scripted to arrive way sooner. Squinting from a distance, Seojun deeply wonders if he recognizes this guy. If he had witnessed that explosive technique even once, his identity would be instantly busted. The protagonist marches right up. "Do you happen to know Kim Sunwoo?" he asks. He even awkwardly adds that the kid attends the prestigious Magic Military Academy. Even eagle-eyed young Jin spots the obvious facial resemblance. Maintaining his disguise, the supposed Jin Woo firmly claims he has never heard of him. Luckily, Agent Hyunsoo firmly decides these kids are wasting his precious time, so he bluntly tells them to fudge off. The agent resumes glazing our boy's heroic efforts. But Seojun remains mega suspicious, sharply staring him down. Playing it cool, Sunwoo humbly acts like intervening was his civic duty. Wrapping up, the agent departs to file his report. Sunwoo gratefully thanks him for the epic save. The moment Hyunsoo leaves, a blue holographic screen violently pops up, crediting his reckless participation. In the subjugation mission, things are looking dangerously bad as variables violently shift from the main storyline. The system acknowledges this massive butterfly effect, abruptly increasing his causality points by 0.2. Thanks to Sunwoo crashing the plot, causality itself bends to his will. If this absolute madman solos a major event, he literally creates his own divine authority. Our resident troll could rewrite destiny. By gate-crashing the final boss battle between the hero and that overgrown lizard Kroos, the beast that originally killed him, he can claim ultimate power. Stacking those causality points unlocks a literal deus ex machina at 100 points. It grants any ridiculous wish, and naturally, our boy's brain immediately goes to one greedy thought: returning to his homies in his original world. That's all the motivation this troll needs to actually try hard. Saving the hero, Seojun? Just a hilarious side quest for massive points. From now on, bro is shamelessly photobombing the main plot. Cut to the next scene, where the Mage Association hands him a juicy 15,001 points as a reward for stalling the bad guy. After actually sweating for once, our guy wants to blow his hard-earned cash on pure, unadulterated luxury. Next stop, a 5-star VIP hotel exclusively for mages. Hotel Hanseong, owned by a filthy rich mega conglomerate that practically runs the main storyline. Sunwoo gets the royal treatment and immediately spots Han Seojun, the big shot vice chairman. This corporate suit is first in line for the throne. Suddenly, Seojun hears his sister wants to crash his dinner party, and surprise, surprise, that sister is the stunning Seon. Sunwoo's brain clicks. She's a massive plot point. Back in his ridiculously lavish room, he stares at his newly acquired spear. It's way too flashy for a stealth troll, so pawnshop it goes. The enchantment book? Keeper. But those rare herbs? Perfect bait to romance the Ice Queen Seon. He just has to patiently scheme until the sun comes up. Morning hits, and the news is losing its mind. A mysterious C-rank mage just casually soloed the hidden floor in the Tower of Trials, even dragging a dark mage by the collar. The Mage Association is practically throwing roses at his alter ego, Kim Jin-woo. They're hyping up his legendary carry job and already begging to promote him to A-rank status. The entire internet is having a meltdown. Who is this absolute Chad who popped off in a single day? The rumors are wild, claiming he one-shotted the Majin entirely on his own. Drowning in sudden clout, the system slaps him with a lesser hero title. Nearly 2 million fanboys are obsessing over him, printing an absurd 21,000 points. Our troll is grinning. His Smurf account is officially famous. Riding this hilarious wave of hype, he casually strolls into Hansung Pharmaceuticals to flirt with Destiny, the gorgeous Seon. The crowd parts like the Red Sea, everyone staring at the TV star. But wait, Sunwoo's radar goes off. He spots the legendary S-rank mage, Jang Sugi, of the Hansung family, chilling in the lobby. Talk about a jump scare. Why is an S-rank monster just slacking off here? Before he can panic, the receptionist swoons over his alter ego. Our smooth operator introduces himself, ready to hustle some tower herbs. Somehow, he finesses his way into a private room with Director Seon herself. Her eyes sparkle at his goods. She can literally feel the absurdly potent energy radiating from these ultra-rare plants. She praises his incredible herbs, her curiosity totally piqued by this mysterious, handsome stranger. Sunwoo plays it cool, dropping a cheeky lie about having a deep, passionate background in medicine, when in reality, bro, just read the wiki. He knows the divine grass acts as a crazy amplifier for other ingredients, but actually processing this stuff? An absolute nightmare of a task, which is exactly why he dumps the homework on the genius beauty, Seon. She misses his cheeky trolling, but is heavily seduced by the herbs. She bites, asking for his demands. Holding up number 5. Bro shamelessly demands 500 million won upfront, plus a slice of her company's equity. Seon's heart skips a beat, but mostly out of sheer, insulted outrage at his audacity. She glares, thinking this pretty boy mage is completely out of his mind. But instead of sweating, our troll casually explains how the divine grass will violently revolutionize the entire market. It's a literal cheat code for monopolizing the industry. The icy director holds her ground, no company shares for handsome strangers. Unfazed, Sunwoo smoothly pivots his entire hustle. He slyly requests a black market VIP pass instead, plus a lifetime supply of her personal potion crafting services. He'll pay the fees. The gorgeous director narrows her eyes at this absolute madman. She realizes he's trying to make her his personal sugar mommy for items. But then, our boy leans in, dropping a bombshell that sends shivers down her spine. He knows her brother's fatal weakness. He totally sees through her. He knows she's plotting a ruthless, backstabbing takeover of the Hansung group. Our boy loves a toxic queen who literally doesn't give a single damn, even if it burns her family tree to ashes. Meanwhile, cut to the villain's edgy dark corner. They're mauling over Jang Han's death. One furious boss slams a table into orbit out of pure rage. He's crying over spilled milk, regretting not saving his lackey. A sweaty subordinate reminds him of the boss's strict orders. If they go full goblin mode on humans now, they'll be cancelled. The villain absolutely loses his mind. He screams about hiding in the shadows like pathetic cowards. His blood is literally boiling just thinking about the absolute menace, Kim Jin-woo. He's violently thirsty for revenge against the mage who styled on his friend. The lackey nervously sweats, pointing out that attacking Jin-woo is financial suicide since he's flirting with their biggest client. The raging villain scoffs. Their client is even more of a psycho than he is, so who cares? Cut back to the corporate battlefield. The two intensely rival siblings, Seojun and Seon, finally cross paths. Just as the edgy villain Beck Gang predicted, one of these gorgeous corporate sharks is happily willing to nuke their own bloodline just for the vibes. Seojun smugly asks his little sister about her stressful day. She dramatically sighs, complaining about her exhausting, fabulous life. Her brother internally fumes, thinking daddy gave her way too much allowance. He arrogantly offers to take the burden of her shares, promising her a cute little vice chair seat later. The absolute audacity. Seon's blood pressure spikes at the pathetic insult. Plot twist. Sunwoo smoothly finessed her digits, juggling his two alt accounts like a pro catfish. He smirks. Hooking up with this corporate queen was the ultimate big brain move. Thanks to his epic merchant hustle, he's living like a king. But he knows Seojun isn't just a pretty face. Her spy network is terrifying. She's 100% going to fact-check the juicy tea he spilled. Speak of the devil, Seojun slides into his DMs. She playfully agrees to be his personal errand girl for a month. The system pings this icy beauty actually trusts him, and the fat advance check is incoming. Cha-ching. Grinning like an absolute troll, Sunwoo texts back his demands for the potion and VIP ticket. But even a boss lady like Seojun needs time to brew his ridiculous requests. She promises to ping him when the loot drops. With the romantic business deal sealed, our boy suddenly sweats. Keeping up his edgy Jinwoo Smurf account is about to get wildly complicated. Why? Because it triggers the insane demon-bound route. That alt account has a full-blown edgy revenge arc coming. Panicking slightly, Sunwoo fiercely scours the system shop for survival cheats. Bingo. Killing intent sense. But it costs a sickening 50,000 points. A total scam, but dodging psychotic assassins is priceless. Our boy aggressively smashes the buy button. It's a hilariously steep price just to not get decapitated. A few days later, his loot finally drops. He meets up with the stunning Seojun for round 2, the romantic tension brewing. She proudly brags about lacing the potions with divine grass, supercharging both the buffs and the nasty side effects. These spicy energy drinks will rocket his mana recovery by 500%. 5 minutes of God mode, followed by 30 minutes of absolute exhaustion. A wildly dangerous double-edged sword. But what's really driving the beautiful director crazy? Why does this overpowered dreamboat even need such trashy juice? First off, there is the massive secret he holds regarding her twisted family feud. Seojun brings up the dark vulnerability he mentioned before, explaining how she dug into the truth herself. Using her elite network, the horrific results left her entirely shattered. She was completely oblivious that her own flesh and blood had orchestrated a literal massacre. Her brother secretly colluding with demonic Majins is a catastrophic threat on its own. But the real burning mystery? How did this utterly average C-rank mage uncover such a terrifying conspiracy? Sunwoo only holds this absolute knowledge because he read the original web novel. In that doomed storyline, her brother embraces the demons out of pure greed, becoming an overwhelmingly dominant villain. Obviously, our boy cannot casually confess he is a reader. So, to hilariously brush off her alliance, he trolls her by demanding a ridiculous 5% stake in her guild. Her mood instantly tanks. She knows this absurd demand is his savage way of saying no. Regarding the underground arena, Seojun secured a pass, but it is strictly non-transferable. He actually has to escort her personally, hence her stunningly gorgeous outfit tonight. The guild director deeply questions his true motives, to which Sunwoo casually shrugs, claiming he just wants to burn some cash. A heavy, awkward silence drops. Seojun glares, demanding to know his grand financial scheme. Turns out, our degenerate protagonist plans to blow every single penny on pure gambling. She immediately brands him an absolute lunatic. She harshly reminds this clown that their shaky contract expires in 1 month. Her disappointment in him hits rock bottom, but Sunwoo could not care less. He is perfectly aware that clearing this upcoming arena hurdle will completely secure her utter devotion. Fast forward to the dazzling underground coliseum, Manhwa receives a sleek VIP bracelet, officially cementing his elite high roller status. Suddenly, an imposing shadow looms over them. Sunwoo instantly breaks into a cold sweat. It is Haryong, the legendary S-rank demonic entity, and an apocalyptic endgame villain. This monster screams pure danger. Acting as the grandmaster of this blood-soaked arena, he offers a chillingly polite greeting before vanishing into the dark. Sunwoo frantically warns his own instincts to avoid this walking disaster at all costs. Deep inside the roaring stadium, Seojun is entirely overwhelmed by the massive, bloodthirsty crowd. They are all furiously chanting one name: Yang Hongju, the absolute superstar of this brutal fighting ring. This absolute juggernaut has crushed skulls to keep the undisputed champion belt for 3 consecutive years. His pure combat aura rivals a terrifying A-rank mage. Seojun mathematically assumes that betting on this beast is free money. Sunwoo smirks, explaining that safe bets yield pathetic garbage returns. To harvest real wealth, they need to exploit a dirty trick. Seojun watches, in total disbelief, as this madman dumps 530 million won entirely on the massive underdog. The ticketing staff actually blue screens in shock, while Seojun silently prays for his sanity. The burning question stands: who dares to face the legendary Hongju? The challenger is a literal nobody, a completely green rookie stepping into the bloody cage for the very first time. The trembling staff immediately reports upstairs, warning the bosses about this mathematically insane wager. Haryong, the S-rank demon, realizes the better is the freshly registered guy wearing the rabbit mask. Strangely, he finds this reckless bravery incredibly amusing. He chuckles, wondering if Sunwoo is merely a spoiled heir with suicidal betting habits. Meanwhile, the two malicious Majins are lurking in the VIP shadows. Baekgang is boiling with intense, murderous rage. After spotting our beloved mage casually escorting Seojun, this demonic thug is violently itching to rip Sunwoo to shreds, vowing to exact a bloody vengeance for his fallen comrade right here. He wants pure, unadulterated street justice. Back on the stadium floor, Hongju's current victim desperately taps out. The degenerate gamblers relentlessly curse the bleeding loser for burning their hard-earned cash. Seojun watches the toxic chaos, totally unsurprised. After all, this is a filthy underground syndicate. The crooked organizers strictly prohibit actual murder to keep the lucrative betting ecosystem flowing smoothly. That is why referees constantly intervene before skulls get crushed. Next up is the main event. Sunwoo's 530 million won gamble. Enter the mysterious rookie, Liang, the man destined to shatter reality today. Sunwoo glances around. Literally, every single soul has their money on the champion. They are openly roaring with laughter at the idiot who funded the rookie. But our boy is playing four-dimensional chess. He knows this prophetic bet will multiply his wealth by a legendary 6 times. The hulking champion Hongju violently stomps into the arena. The underdog finally emerges, and Seojun drops her jaw in sheer disbelief. The physical weight difference is downright comical. Even Sunwoo is internally screaming at how absurdly frail this supposed hidden boss looks. He actually plotted this entire trip for far deeper reasons than just hoarding gold. A notorious dark faction known as John manipulates the shadows of this very coliseum. In the original timeline, this skinny underdog is fated to become one of their most terrifying executioners, so Sunwoo needed to witness his monstrous potential firsthand. But honestly, looking at this twig, our protagonist is sweating bullets over his life savings. Despite reading the novel, the panic is absolutely real. By the script, Liang is destined to never suffer a single defeat. The towering Hongju visibly scoffs, openly mocking the pathetic aura of his puny challenger. Believing this is an insulting waste of stamina, the champion explodes forward for a one-hit knockout. Amazingly, the short king weaves through the thunderous charge like a phantom. However, Hongju instantly pivots, burying a devastating, bone-shattering hook directly into the kid's stomach. Liang flies like a broken ragdoll, crashing brutally into the steel barricade. The bloodthirsty audience erupts into sheer ecstasy. Hilariously, Sunwoo's soul leaves his body as he realizes he might have just bankrupted himself. Meanwhile, in the murky VIP corridors, the bloodthirsty Baekgang marches toward the arena floor. He desperately wants to slaughter the mage right now, but challenging Haryong's absolute authority over this venue is pure suicide. He forcefully restrains his bloodlust, confirming the bloodbath will formally conclude at 10:30 sharp. He grins, perfectly happy to ambush them in the parking lot. Back inside the cage, it is an absolute massacre. Hongju is unleashing a merciless, god-tier beatdown. A titanic overhand right violently ripples the air with pure shockwaves. The champion relentlessly juggles the poor kid like a literal Tekken combo. Liang collapses into the dirt, his fragile body painted in horrifying, dark bruises. The rookie looks completely paralyzed and thoroughly broken. The roaring crowd furiously chants Hongju's invincible name. Sunwoo mentally prepares to live under a bridge, devastated that the novel's timeline betrayed him. But then, absolute madness strikes. A dark energy spike violently impales the champion's chest. Hongju chokes on his blood, staring at his battered but eerily grinning prey. Desperate, the champion wildly swings to salvage his fading glory. But the Grim Reaper has already checked his watch. The bruised rookie materializes 4 more menacing spikes, heavily coated in lethal demonic aura. They launch like homing missiles, ruthlessly burying themselves into Hongju's torso. It is a devastating, apocalyptic barrage. The undisputed king crashes into the blood-soaked dirt, 5 grotesque spikes jutting from his shredded organs. A suffocating, graveyard-like silence instantly paralyzes the entire stadium. The crowd is mortified. Seon's brain totally short-circuits trying to process this impossible upset. The gamblers furiously scream cowardice, but Sunwoo swiftly grabs his winnings, whispering it is time to vanish. Seon frantically chases after him, while Haryong narrows his demonic eyes at the unfolding chaos. He knows Liang merely capitalized on the champion's fatal arrogance. The timing of that brutal reversal was way too calculated. Yet, the most terrifying variable is the masked spectator, who confidently dumped a fortune on a total nobody. Sensing a dangerous mastermind at play, he commands his shadow agents to dig up every dark secret surrounding Kim Jin-woo. Meanwhile, driving home, Seojun is having an existential crisis. She stares at this enigmatic freak, totally baffled by how he flawlessly predicted the rookie's miraculous slaughter. Keeping his poker face legendary, our boy brilliantly trolls her, claiming it was simply a lucky, silly hunch. It is another savage deflection to keep her guessing. Sunwoo literally broke the bank tonight. His pathetic balance just violently exploded to a staggering 3 billion won. Remember when this dude was starving with barely 30,000? Talk about a legendary financial awakening. Witnessing this god-tier foresight, Seon's absolute trust in him has completely skyrocketed. Her burning curiosity about his true identity is reaching a dangerous new peak. 7,000 points secured. The system finally showered him with rewards, refunding his lost killing intent traits. But just as Sunwoo smiled, a bone-chilling aura crashed over him. Murderous malice choked the air. This completely broke the original plot's timeline, where a demon avenged Jang Han. Catching his tense expression, Han Se-yeon watched as he requested a crucial favor. Nearby, the notorious assassin named Red lurked in his car. Observing the target, he ordered his driver to halt. He planned a quick execution right here. Stepping out, he noticed Se-yeon was missing. Red sneered, doubting Kim Jin-woo's actual strength. Could this weak, untrained kid truly have slaughtered Jang Han? Unbeknownst to the arrogant killer, our hero secretly gripped a hidden glass vial. In one desperate gulp, he drained the entire contents. Smashing the glass, he boldly challenged Red to step up. This wasn't some cheap trick. It was a high-grade amplified mana elixir. Our boy knew this shadowy assassin was hunting him. Red sensed the kid's aura spike. It wasn't exactly terrifying, but definitely impressive enough. With a smirk, Red readied his deadly magical arrows. Whoosh! The first projectile tore through the air. Our boy gracefully dodged, countering with a condensed energy blast. Unfazed, Red chuckled. He casually launched 2 more lethal strikes straight at our protagonist. Boom! The explosive impact forced him back. Miles away, Han Se-yeon heard the deafening roar from her steering wheel. The ultimate bait-and-switch plan had officially commenced. Who dared to attack them? Jin-woo knew perfectly well. It was a rival corporate faction hunting him like prey. Deliberately gripping the empty elixir vial, he lured this deadly pursuer away. He needed an absolutely isolated battleground. This epic fight was life or death. The enemy wasn't some basic thug. Red's terrifying magical pressure completely blew past the B-rank threshold. During their earlier chat, Se-yeon's heart had raced with pure worry, but Jin-woo confidently promised his safe return, placing his absolute trust in her. She desperately prayed for her fearless partner's survival. Back to the blood-pumping clash. Jin-woo effortlessly danced around the magical bombardment. His past life as an enhancement specialist made these evasive maneuvers look hilariously easy. Red aggressively narrowed his eyes. Furious that his prey kept dodging, Red roared and unleashed a guaranteed kill shot. Moving faster than a blinding thunderbolt, the assassin closed the gap instantly. Cold sweat dripped down Jin-woo's face. Swoosh! A desperate sidestep barely saved his life. The potion's buff would completely vanish in exactly 2 minutes. Time was ticking. He had to gamble everything right now on a legendary skill. Heart of Mother Nature, activate. A divine emerald aura erupted from his core. The sudden, overwhelming pressure finally made the arrogant hitman sweat with sheer nervousness. Jin-woo exploded forward like a speeding bullet. Seeing the terrifying speed, Red knew absolute death was knocking. Panicking, the hitman fired a desperate barrage, trying to intercept the unstoppable, blazing charge. Impossible! The kid slipped through every single strike. Closing the distance, Red frantically raised his magic staff to defend, but Jin-woo ruthlessly slammed a crackling sphere of lightning straight into him. Bam! A direct, devastating hit to the chest. Seeing the enemy's defense completely crumble, our protagonist went totally berserk. He ruthlessly pushed forward, leaving the mighty assassin miserably losing the brutal clash. Spotting a lethal opening right near the brain, Jin-woo violently dashed in closer. With a demonic smirk, he ruthlessly grabbed Red by the throat. The suffocating grip locked his opponent in place, but the universe loves to absolutely troll. Ding! The potion's timer hit 0. Crippling mana exhaustion slammed into his body. For 30 excruciating minutes, he'd be totally powerless. Yeah, our boy was cooked. Sensing the sudden weakness, Red grinned maniacally. He raised his staff for the bloody execution. But suddenly, a blinding blade of light erupted from behind, splitting the assassin perfectly in half. Sliced open like a fresh banana peel, Jin-woo exhaled a massive sigh of relief. His savior was none other than Jung Soo-ji, an S-rank powerhouse, the legendary sword of the Hansung family. The infamous hitman Baek Gang was officially deleted. Jin-woo's eyes sparkled with sheer fanboy admiration. Jeongsu-gi was an absolute monster, ranked among the apex predators in the original Webtoon's grand universe. One single magnificent strike instantly obliterated an A rank. Sugi's aura boiled with terrifying, overwhelming rage. How dare this absolute trash even think about harming the precious youngest daughter of the Hansung bloodline? Jinwoo! Seojun sprinted over, her beautiful eyes brimming with frantic worry. She rushed to support his heavily exhausted body. Blushing slightly, he tried playing it cool, stubbornly claiming he didn't need any help. His risky strategy of stalling for backup had completely paid off. Seojun offered a breathtaking smile. Since her destiny was on the line, bringing her ultimate powerhouse was a total no-brainer. She flexed her terrifying Cheeble privileges. Suddenly, blue screens flooded his vision. System alert. Bake Gang is dead. Storyline divergence successfully detected. The causality index has drastically increased by 0.6%. Plus, maximum affection points earned with Han Se-yeon. Seeing these sweet system rewards, his stress melted away. Sugi abruptly interrupted. "My lady, should I inform the chairman?" A Majin attack was catastrophic. Jinwoo's brain went into rapid overdrive. If the public discovered that a demonic Majin targeted the glorious Hansung group, the entire society would plunge into absolute, unprecedented apocalyptic chaos. Butterfly effects from breaking the original plot were way too annoying. They exchanged a knowing, secretive glance. Leaking this would invite endless political headaches. So, Seojun commanded her uncle to bury the incident completely. Bound by absolute loyalty, Sugi firmly agreed. 3 days later, our protagonist lounged like a lazy king. As a grand reward for his heroic, life-saving stunt protecting Seojun from danger, she promised him any secret intel he desired. Embracing his inner greedy capitalist, he demanded the top-secret launch schedule for the revolutionary divine herb potion. Inside knowledge was the ultimate cheat code. Breaking news flashed brightly. The Hansung Group just announced their miracle acceleration potion. Financial analysts predicted an astronomical stock market boom. Good thing our boy went totally all in, gambling his entire savings. He aggressively hoarded Hansung Pharmaceutical shares. Staring at the app, he anxiously counted down. Just 1 more minute. Boom! The graph exploded to the moon. He was completely, utterly stunned. In his tragic past life, endless dungeon grinding couldn't even buy a tiny apartment. Who knew getting filthy rich was this ridiculously easy? Yet, a bitter, ironic laugh escaped his lips at the sheer absurdity. Ding! A sweet notification interrupted his thoughts. It was a private lunch invitation from Seojun. She teased a special gift, making his heart eagerly skip a beat. The very next day arrived. Arriving early, like a true gentleman, he shamelessly bragged about his massive stock market victory. Seojun chuckled at his pure excitement, curiously asking just how much her favorite bodyguard had actually managed to rake in. She expected maybe 50 million won, but when he casually dropped the 3 billion bomb, her beautiful eyes widened in pure shock. Flustered, she smiled, telling him to consider it a heartfelt token of appreciation. Grinning from ear to ear, he graciously thanked her. But what about the mysterious gift? Her expression suddenly turned deadly serious. She had completely uncovered the dark, true identity of the Majin. His real name was Bake Gang, she whispered, a notoriously elusive underworld hitman, perfectly masking himself as human. But her intense shadow investigation revealed a far more horrifying, deeply sinister truth lurking nearby. Someone inside the elite family frequently funded this killer. The traitor was her very own flesh and blood, Han Se-jin. She always suspected her older brother's filthy, corrupt ties to the demonic Majin factions. But hiring Bake Gang to assassinate her? That crossed the line. Jinwoo listened to the juicy family drama, though his pragmatic, overpowered mind didn't find this lore drop particularly mind-blowing. Pouting, she called out his cold, calculating nature despite their life-and-death trauma bonding. Then, she confidently slid a prestigious, golden envelope across the polished table as her ultimate, grand gesture. An official contract cementing their unstoppable partnership. She revealed a massive storm was coming. For a little while, she'd be completely busy. Jinwoo raised an eyebrow, sensing an epic revenge arc brewing perfectly. Her aura shifted into cold, queen-like dominance. With her brother's assassination plot utterly exposed, the gloves were officially off. She absolutely refuses to live, owing debts of gratitude or bloody grudges. She gracefully walked away. Our boy knows she's dead wrong about her brother running the Bake Gang. Still, that villainous scum is fated to become a massive thorn in her side anyway, using her as bait to snare Han's agent? A delightfully wicked strategy. Suddenly, she calls him, nervously hoping her hand-picked gift meets his mighty standards. With a gracious nod, he cracks the box open. A mana-infused bracelet? A triumphant smirk spreads across his face as the system chimes. Har Young's curiosity has been piqued. Reward acquired, 15 points. Meanwhile, Har-young broods in his shadowed office, eyes locked on cryptic reports. Cheon-hee approaches with a deep bow. Did this lackey come bearing news? About the 10 demonic assembly? Yes. But before spilling the secrets, Cheon-hee hesitates. He demands answers about the recent bloodbath that wiped out his comrade Jong-han and the Bake Gang. A mysterious human mage is the bloody thread connecting both massacres. Bake Gang's intel confirms this monster recently infiltrated the Colosseum. Cheon-hee's burning question is simple. Does Har-young know Kim Jin-woo? Har-young's gaze shifts from the bloody reports to our protagonist's photo. Lightning strikes his mind. This isn't just a mage, this is the supreme VIP. The legendary high roller backing Rang Rang. Cheon-hee begs for the protagonist's intel, making a grim vow. Hand him over, and he'll paint the graves of his fallen brothers with the mage's blood. But Har-young scoffs at such vulgar trash. Murderous aura erupts from his body, suffocating the room. He coldly warns Cheon-hee to prepare for absolute annihilation if he dares lay a single finger on his golden client. Terrified, Cheon-hee drops to his knees, begging for his miserable life. Har-young sneers, ordering him to deliver the assembly's message. Drenched in cold sweat, Cheon-hee reveals a terrifying truth. A divine prophecy has echoed from the sacred relic, the altar of the prophet. It declares that this very year, the 18-year-old child of destiny will awaken their world-shattering power. At their hands, the demonic king of Majin is doomed to fall. Hearing this, Har-young's eyes narrow in grim understanding. The Majin king won't take this lying down. What else? Har-young barks. Trembling, Cheon-hee drops the ultimate bombshell. The prophesied savior is currently hiding within the Magic Military Academy. Meanwhile, back at the academy, our main character decides to drop the Kim Jin-woo persona for now. Har-young's mysteries plague his thoughts, but surviving the present means avoiding that underworld boss at all costs. Leaving the mystical scroll levitating in midair, he refocuses his mind. Duty calls. He unravels the ancient parchment, a supreme spellbook. Absorbing its arcane knowledge, reality hits him. Midterms are looming, a brutal crucible where students flaunt their magic before the elite brass. The stakes have never been higher. This event triggers Lee Seojun's legendary awakening. As the child of prophecy and a destined demon slayer, Lee is about to steal the spotlight. The wheels of fate are turning. In the original web novel, Majin forces launch a bloody siege at 4 p.m. Their goal? Butcher the unawakened savior. But Lee is fated to utterly obliterate the demonic invaders. This skirmish locks in crucial plot armor. Our protagonist knows he must shadow Lee and safeguard the timeline. Suddenly, the instructor's booming voice shatters the classroom's peace, drawing groans from the already exhausted cadets. Real combat is the only true training, the teacher roars. This year's midterms will break your limits with a brutal new format. Prepare for days of relentless, autonomous sparring. Gasps echo everywhere. He coldly adds that weaklings who fail to secure a partner will just be spectators, or forced to strike training dummies alone. Behind our boy, Yuara's eyes blaze with rivalrous fire at Lee Seojun's name. The golden duo is destined to pair up. The original timeline remains intact, but fate plays a cruel joke on him. Not a single soul approaches. Despite his god-tier theory and flawless barrier-breaking skills, nobody wants the Academy's lowest-ranked loser, dragging them down. Unfazed, he already has his perfect pawn in mind. Meanwhile, sparks fly as Park In-hwan and Yuara clash violently. "The top rank belongs to me," she screams. In-hwan scoffs, radiating overwhelming pressure. "Don't get cocky. I haven't even stretched yet." A devastating shockwave of mana erupts. From the shadows, Yoon Hae-young watches the titans clash. She averts her eyes, swallowed by a suffocating inferiority complex. Mocked and isolated, she too is completely partnerless, cursed with a pitiful 82nd rank. Her mind holds brilliant theoretical genius, but her physical execution is absolute trash. Even our cold-blooded protagonist feels a twinge of pity. Beneath her flaws beats a genuinely kind heart. She blasts a training dummy, but her spells barely leave a scratch. Furious tears prick her eyes. No matter how hard she tries, she is cursed to fail. Suddenly, a chilling voice cuts through her despair. "Your manifestation form is garbage. It's him. That ice wouldn't even freeze a puddle. Your aim is pathetic, proving your foundation is crumbling." Guilt gnaws at him. Originally, she should have awakened and skyrocketed to the 6th rank. Lee's dungeon advice was supposed to be her turning point. But thanks to our boy's interference, her growth completely flatlined. With steady steps, he closes the distance. "You're missing the core mechanic," he declares. "Partner with me, and I'll forge you into a weapon." Blinded by pride, she snaps back, mocking his absolute bottom ranking. "You're just gaslighting me to feel superior," she screams. But his gaze is like a razor. "No. You're just angry because your magical talent hit a pathetic wall." Enraged, her aura flickers. I thought you were a decent person in the dungeon. Now you're just cruel. He flinches internally. Oops, he pushed it too far. Before he can apologize, her pride explodes. She throws down the gauntlet. Fine, let's duel. Let me see what the Academy's worst trash can actually do. A sinister grin stretches across his face. Perfect. Show me your worst, he taunts. A deadly blizzard of ice shards erupts. Our boy merely sidesteps, weaving through the storm. Her eyes widen in pure terror. The instant he got serious, his mana pressure became suffocatingly heavy. Is this all? He roars. Your attack patterns are embarrassingly linear. Ice mages are born for utility, not basic spam. Humiliated, she channels every drop of her furious mana. You want a new pattern? Swallow this. A jagged ice wave erupts. It catches him off guard, yet he dances through it like a phantom. Her mind shatters. How is the worst student moving with Grandmaster grace, landing smoothly on her frozen constructs? He smirks. Awakening a prodigy requires psychological warfare. Pushing her to the edge of rage was the perfect catalyst. Stop running and fight me, she howls, lunging with desperate fury. He drops from the ice pillar, his voice dripping with veteran battle sense. Rookies always make this fatal mistake. Manifestation mages are hopelessly fragile in close combat. In a flash, he closes the distance. A catastrophic mana surge threatens her, but his fist halts millimeters from her face. Not a bad warm-up, he smiles gently. The sheer difference in power crushes her spirit. Falling to her knees, she realizes the agonizing truth. He's a hidden monster. Reaching out, his tone softens. Your talent is a sleeping dragon. You just need the key. Swear loyalty to my training, and I will make you unstoppable. Trembling, she stares at his offered hand. Defeated but hopeful, she grasps it firmly. I'll trust you. System alert. Yoonhae Young's affinity has evolved into profound interest. System pings. He just scored sweet romance points. Next up is Hardcore Elemental Bootcamp. With a smirk, he tosses her a mysterious training cube. He drops some massive wizard wisdom. Mastering magic means literally becoming one with your core element. He warns her that if she ignores these absolute foundational basics, her skills will be totally trash forever. She pouts defensively, admitting she knows what elemental training is, but she has literally never heard of attempting it. While submerged inside a literal freezing ice block, he flashes a trollish grin, hyping her up that freezing her butt off is the absolute fastest leveling hack. Meanwhile, in an edgy villain lair, Cheon-hee does his perfect final boss impression. Shadowy lackeys kneel, confirming their demonic hit squad is currently stalking the Magic Academy. Their diabolical master plan? Assassinate the fated child next week. Their sweaty inside snitch happily reports that the Academy's security turns to absolute garbage during midterm exams. The goons are hyped, but one nervous lackey asks about their backup muscle, Har-young. Cheon-hee violently scoffs, salty that the traitor totally ghosted their grand operation. Apparently, preventing their race's extinction is less important than personal errands. Yang completely freaks out, realizing 4 mediocre B-rank demons simply cannot execute the prophesied hero. Her edgy buddy rolls his demonic eyes, aggressively mocking her for sweating over one single target. She furiously claps back, screaming that lax security doesn't guarantee a smooth victory, especially with overpowered pro-guild scouts swarming the campus like crazy fanboys. They'd get stomped. He smirks wickedly, suggesting a troll tactic. Trap the annoying extras to flip the script. Cheon-hee then proudly flexes his ultimate Grand Demon barrier. He arrogantly boasts they can go completely feral, promising to personally carry the team fight. His final chilling absolute order? Terminate the prophesied target. Back to our troll main character. He is playing tough love tutor, forcing Yoonhae Young to memorize the freezing agony with her very soul. She fiercely concentrates her bubbling inner mana, and boom, a lethally sharp ice spear materializes. She beams with adorable pride at her frosty creation. Even our cynical hero feels a proud dad moment over her lightning-fast leveling. He smoothly drops a massive compliment, praising her hidden genius. Right on cue, the legendary system chimes. Her heart just fluttered, instantly unlocking 15 sweet trust points as a reward. Starstruck, she cheerfully vows to blindly trust his every word. She bravely demands more freezing torture to power up, but our eagle-eyed boy notices her violently shivering through the agonizing pain. Yet he ruthlessly dumps more ice anyway. It's a necessary evil to forge her into his ultimate combat partner. While she becomes a human popsicle, a mysterious figure secretly lurks above. The majestic Lee Seojun peeks from the balcony, deeply horrified. She completely misreads the bizarre scene, totally convinced our boy is ruthlessly bullying Yoonhae Young like a toxic villain. Shoving a girl into an icebox? Totally illegal. She immediately decides to snitch to the teachers. But suddenly, Professor Lee Hee-young stealthily ghost walks right up behind her. Seojun panics and unloads the spicy gossip. The professor just chuckles, asking if she means their hardcore elemental boot camp. Plot twist: the teacher admits she has been secretly spying on them. She reveals Hae-young's magical output has miraculously skyrocketed. But what genuinely blows the teacher's mind is our protagonist's gigabrain analytical skills, perfectly diagnosing her flaws and hacking her magical roadblocks. The professor teasingly asks how the elite Seojun even knows our nobody's name. Caught acting like a secret stalker, the top-tier beauty breaks into a highly flustered, nervous sweat. While she stammers helplessly, the teacher drops a massive truth bomb. Kim Sunwoo hides terrifying potential. Seojun's jaw hits the floor. How could the absolute worst-ranked student in the academy be secretly overpowered? But the professor sharply wonders when he plans to grind his own stats. If he spends all day buffing Hae-young, he will fail. Because in this ruthless academy, only results matter. She thinks they must test his true mettle during midterms. Meanwhile, our big brain boy is having a total financial meltdown. He desperately wants a spatial pocket, costing 20,000 points. His broke wallet only holds 8,500. Spatial pockets are the ultimate cheat code, summoning items anywhere for epic combat combos. Even with a glorious 50% system discount, he is still tragically poor. He aggressively curses his terrible luck, wondering why a mega sale triggered when his bank account is crying. He must desperately farm 11,500 points. Seeking a guaranteed point farming method, his phone aggressively buzzes. It's an ominous notification from Professor Lee Hee-young demanding an office visit. Next morning, the fiery Yu Ara stands waiting. Park In-hwan and our underdog hero stand awkwardly inside the staff room. The professor drops a massive bombshell. This unlikely trio just got drafted into the elite manifestation special class. She hypes it as a VIP club for hidden monsters, completely ignoring standard grades. Our boy immediately schemes. If his gorgeous crush Seojun is in the rival class, this is perfect. Romance points, here we come. But suddenly, the incredibly snobby In-hwan throws a massive tantrum, protesting our boy's admission. The protagonist just blinks, wondering what this salty rich kid's problem is. The elitist angrily flexes his rank 5 status, refusing to group with the academy's biggest loser. He desperately begs Yuara for backup, but the arrogant Ice Queen ruthlessly shoots him down. She brutally tells him to mind his own freaking business, leaving the rich boy utterly devastated. Our main character internally laughs, realizing this is why she has zero friends. The teacher playfully smirks. Our boy unleashes his absolute Sigma energy, declaring he will manually raise his trash rank. The professor smirks, daring him to prove his epic skills by cracking the top 80. Challenge accepted. He turns to his loyal ice girl, knowing he possesses the literal script of this world. The midterm is a brutal co-op raid, and they must team up to dominate. Their prey is a hulking, summoned green giant. Striking its hidden core triggers an instant one-shot kill, but the system maliciously randomizes the exact location just to troll the sweating students. Most pathetic extras just nervously dodge for basic survival points. But true legendary chads execute immediate boss melts. Across the chaotic arena, the stunning Lee Seojun is beautifully dancing against her own monster. With a flawless strike, she dices the beast, bathing in the crowd's fanatical cheers. Meanwhile, our confident protagonist struts in with his cute partner, fully intending to steal the top ranks. The toxic peanut gallery instantly starts booing, remembering his epic placement fail. The haters are practically salivating, ready with popcorn to watch the supposedly trash-tier student get utterly and publicly humiliated. System notification. 1,000 spite points awarded. Staring down the towering green behemoth, he powerfully triggers his broken outsider's perk. The era of being the academy's biggest clown ends right now. In a glorious blur, he instantly snipes the monster's hidden weak point. Boom! Instant deletion. A second giant recklessly charges, and our cocky hero smirks, thinking this is a complete tutorial level. But wait, right before the giant's fist connects, he spots Cheon-hee lurking above. Distracted by this massive plot hole, his attack whiffs completely. The toxic crowd instantly bursts into cruel shaming. Though they admit it was decent for a bottom feeder, cold sweat drenches our boy's back. He internally panics, wondering what the sinister mastermind is doing, crashing his perfectly planned exam. The demonic invasion wasn't scheduled until 4 p.m. His brain entirely short-circuits, trying to recalculate the shattered timeline, completely oblivious to the massive fist plummeting directly toward his fragile skull. Clang! His loyal partner brilliantly clutch blocks the blow, completely freezing the giant's arm. She desperately shakes him awake. Snapping back to reality, he casually raises his palm, effortlessly obliterating the second beast. The entire stadium drops into stunned silence. The undisputed worst student just flawlessly cleared the raid. Explosive cheering erupts as a glorious tidal wave of system points magically floods his glowing vision. His partner beams with pure joy, pulling him into a tight hug as the crowd praises her skills. But our main character is totally spacing out. The exam? Irrelevant. The real nightmare? This timeline has completely derailed. Cold sweat drips down his face. Did his tiny butterfly effect just doom the entire academy? He is panicking about the future. Hae-young blinks, asking why he is suddenly sweating waterfalls. He stammers out a lame excuse about needing rest. Instantly, she pouts, blaming herself for dragging him into this glorious mess. He smoothly reassures her she did amazing, earning a hardcore blush. Flustered, she begs him to skip training and rest up. Cute, but our boy already has some sneaky side quests to handle. He desperately needs to calculate this timeline damage. Storming outside, he instantly spots Sunwoo completely suffocated by a massive mob of rabid fans. Shocking absolutely no one, students are practically crying, begging the prodigy to join their guilds. Sunwoo sweats, desperately using the classic, "I am only 18" excuse to escape the madness. But these ruthless recruiters simply aggressively shove business cards into his face. Sensing the ultimate cringe, our hero slickly slides in, lying that a teacher urgently needs to see him. The snobby crowd gasps. Why is the academy's infamous trash tier running errands? Catching the perfect rescue signal, Sunwoo immediately ditches the mob like a true pro. He playfully claims he cannot keep the staff waiting. Meanwhile, hidden nearby, a special task force leader and his elite agent are still totally mind-blown by our hero's crazy combat skills. Sure, Sunwoo is the disciple of legendary guildmaster Jin Cheel, but the leader smirks, noting the kid still lacks serious grit. He lacks real survival instincts. The leader then grills his subordinates' motives. The agent admits he is hunting clues about the river demon, heavily suspecting Sunwoo holds the juicy answers. Was Sunwoo the actual demon slayer? Pivoting hard, the boss asks about our main character. The agent scoffs, writing him off as just another pathetic bottom feeder. But the boss completely disagrees. He watched our boy instantly dissect the monster's weak points. That terrifying insight? That belongs strictly to a blood-soaked veteran. The subordinate stands absolutely paralyzed by this wild theory. They both burst into laughter. A high schooler secretly being an overpowered war god? Utterly hilarious. Yet, they admit he radiates that exact same Jinwoo energy. Agreeing to casually stalk this mysterious anomaly, the scene abruptly cuts back to our sneaky duo. Taking a super-secret shortcut, they finally ditch those soul-sucking recruiters. The two boys smoothly slip back into the buzzing crowd, like total ghosts. Ready for the next brawl, our hero is secretly sweating bullets. Demons could literally strike right now. Thanks to this stupid butterfly effect, his future knowledge is utterly useless. So, he casually decides to dump Chon-hee onto Sunwoo's plate. As the senior match violently kicks off, an undercover demon gives Chon-hee the juicy details outside. Asking for a status report, the spy confirms deadly monster devices are hidden everywhere. But since Jin is an unpredictable psycho, they happily parked him miles away. The sinister demon boss smirks, gripping a terrifyingly dark magic orb. His savage hunt for the Chosen One officially begins. Meanwhile, back in the loud arena, Senior Chang-hyun absolutely wrecks Minya. Right before the fatal strike, she practically cries, "Uncle." He takes the glorious win, leaving Sunwoo totally starstruck by the epic clash. Sunwoo hopelessly fanboys over their genius tactics and insane speed. But our hero could not care less. He is having a quiet panic attack because the match is already over, and that ugly demon boss is still a no-show. When Sunwoo asks what he is hunting for, he casually lies about scouting for trash guilds. Sunwoo just warmly pats his back, praising his insane growth. He practically begs to know his secret training routine. Suddenly, a terrifying, massive purple energy violently rips their attention away from the bromance. A dark purple dome violently swallows the arena. Our hero freezes in horror. This deadly trap simply did not exist in his past life. Clueless students whine about administration errors, frantically dialing their teachers. But as the cursed barrier expands, hidden monster gates violently snap open. Terrifying portals rip through the air. Endless swarms of bloodthirsty beasts flood in. Looking at the students like an all-you-can-eat buffet, suddenly, a panicked voice screams through the speakers, "Evacuate immediately." While students run for their lives, the dome ruthlessly expands. Chun-hee smirks like a supervillain, incredibly proud that his trap effortlessly caged the elite teachers. Now, the golden child must reveal himself, but seeing a monstrous force utterly shredding his beast army, the demon boss violently grinds his teeth. He completely failed to predict the special forces crashing his party. The boys quickly learn these absolute elites were just here to watch Seojun fight, but are now happily slaughtering the monster horde. We are totally saved. Our boy wonders if Commander Deok-yeon came to spectate him. Honestly, he is just incredibly hyped they arrived, giving them a genuine shot at survival. Still, this massive glitchy dome is a giant headache. Panicking students dramatically scream their lungs out, begging the magic professors to instantly shatter the cursed barrier. A frantic teacher yells they desperately need an A-rank caster. A guy sharply retorts that elite mages do not just grow on trees, but she demands he stops whining and searches. Breaking it alone demands 30 agonizing minutes, but our clever hero scoffs internally. A world-class demon barrier? These fragile teachers absolutely cannot scratch it. He sighs. Time to carry this entire school again. But suddenly, the fake snake Yang Yoon steps up to play hero. Our boy violently twitches, desperately wanting to punch her smug face. Accusing her without hardcore evidence is social suicide. Using her sweet lies, the demon instantly tricks the teacher into channeling a massive spell. Sunwoo naively sighs in pure relief, but our protagonist violently yanks him into the shadows. Meanwhile, the real teacher gets a chilling realization. The magic is fighting her. It is literally being double-locked from the inside. The shield is getting thicker. Realizing this smart lady uncovered his nasty little trick, Cheon-hee acts fast. He ruthlessly commands a bloodthirsty goblin squad to completely ignore the agents. They charge her. The badass commander instantly vaporizes them with one glorious strike. The sly demon sweetly thanks him, continuing her treacherous fake magic act. The gullible agents foolishly throw themselves at the endless goblin waves. Agent Hyunsoo dramatically swears to protect her with his literal life. The wicked snake giggles, graciously thanking her meat shields. A purely devious smirk flashes across her treacherous face. Outside, a highly confused Sunwoo demands why they are hiding like cowards. Seojun coldly replies they needed absolute privacy. Time to solo this barrier. Sunwoo tilts his head, noting the ladies are already fixing it. Our boy sighs, dropping the nuke. That sweet girl is actually a demon secretly buffing the shield. She is locking us in. Panicking, Sunwoo grabs him, screaming that they must snitch to the teachers immediately. But our hero smirks sadly. Who would ever believe zero-proof claims from a loser? That is exactly why Sunwoo must steal the glorious credit. Teachers will easily believe a top-tier genius, not some bottom-ranking trash. Without waiting, our hero summons a breathtakingly complex magic circle. He ruthlessly hacks the barrier formula. Within minutes, the unbreakable dome completely shatters. Yang Yoon and the trapped crowd are left absolutely mind-blown. Our boy casually dusts off his hands like clearing a tutorial stage. He tells Sunwoo to rally the others, since more chores await. But a baffled Sunwoo desperately needs to know one thing. Why hide such god-tier power? Our main character simply shrugs, claiming he loves his lazy background character life. He shoots a sly wink, telling Sunwoo to keep their little secret buried. Back in the exam hall, Cheon-hee violently scolds his useless minion. Meanwhile, the oblivious crowd showers their teacher and Yang Hyun with praise. Now that the magical lockdown is finally over, it is time for a monster beatdown. The supposedly peaceful teachers transform into bloodthirsty killing machines, unleashing absolute chaos. The task force sweats, realizing these educators might actually clear the dungeon themselves. The tactical leader sighs. They still have zero clues about the mastermind's true identity. Their top priority is hunting down this mysterious villain. But before he can even finish his serious speech, the support teacher violently crashes the chat. Pointing fingers at the most suspicious student, she grabs poor young Un by the collar. She furiously screams, demanding the truth behind that cursed barrier. A man desperately begs the crazy lady to chill, arguing Yang Yoon is just a kid. But she screeches back, accusing the girl of being a literal demon. Those harsh words instantly shatter the weeping student. The crowd cringes at this toxic bullying toward their supposed savior. Agent Hyunsoo crackles with righteous anger, begging to intervene. However, his stoic leader raises a hand, ordering him to wait for the real plot twist. Boom, the undercover demon drops her innocent act, brutally mocking the teacher's trash-tier magic skills. Right as the tension peaks, our glorious main character casually steps out of the shadows to serve some epic karma. He casually asks the raging teacher if the barrier absorbed her pathetic dispel attempts. The entire crowd gasps at his sudden entrance. His teacher stands utterly paralyzed, shocked that this slacker actually understands high-level magical theory. Playing the ultimate troll, our boy exposes the barrier's massive structural flaw. To keep his overpowered identity perfectly hidden, he flawlessly lies through his teeth. He claims he merely stumbled upon the magical formula by pure luck. Hearing his big brain logic, the students instantly glare at the sly snake. They frantically search if an A-rank mage named Yang Hyun even exists. Trapped in his own web of lies, the fake Yang Hyun starts sweating bullets. Meanwhile, Cha Eun-hee quietly schemes in the background. The sharp-eyed task force leader instantly locks onto the exposed villain's deadly aura. The villain is cornered, but before elite agents can blink, the demon boss vaporizes into thin air. The mood turns terrifyingly grim. They realize they are fighting a genuinely catastrophic threat, an A-rank demon. Meanwhile, Sunwoo spots Yang Hyun pulling her desperate final trick. Chaos erupts as hideous demons spawn in the crowd, while the treacherous snake suddenly mutates into a massive monster. She plans a glorious bloodbath before her inevitable death. But her fatal mistake? Choosing the absolute worst target. Sunwoo draws his blade faster than lightning, smoothly decapitating the beast without a single ounce of mercy. Soon, the elite agents and raging teachers violently crush every remaining demon. Sunwoo bows to Special Forces leader Deok Yeon, an old acquaintance from last year. The grizzled leader warmly praises the young swordmaster's heroic performance. He promises a very handsome reward for slaying the monster later. As the commanding officer walks away, Sunwoo nervously sweats. A heavy wave of imposter syndrome crashes over him. Deep down, he knows our overpowered boy actually hard-carried the battle. Meanwhile, outside the academy, Seojun frantically chases a shadow. His heart drops to his stomach when he spins around. A massive explosion rocks the exact spot where he sensed the chosen one. Nearby, Ara barely drags Hayoung away from a psychotic demon. The sneering villain laughs, completely disgusted by her incredibly pathetic combat skills. Her magic is a total joke compared to her legendary rumors. He mercilessly taunts them, asking if the terrified deadweight clinging to her is ruining her focus. Shock paralyzes Hayoung, completely clueless in this absolute nightmare scenario. Despite her trembling knees, she promises to protect Ara at all costs. But her desperate friend begs her to just run away. Against this insanely overpowered maniac, a novice mage is literally nothing but cannon fodder. Jin effortlessly strolls right through their blazing magic like a casual evening walk. The creep chokes Ara, drooling over her deliciously rich mana. As Ara's vision fades to black, a desperate Hayoung fires a desperately pathetic spell. She screams at the monster to fight her instead. The crazy bastard just throws his head back, laughing hysterically at her touching little friendship speech. With a cruel smirk, he fires a fatal laser beam straight toward her heart. He aims to end her life. But defying logic, her hidden potential violently awakens. Fueled by sheer desperate emotion, she counters with a legendary strike. The arrogant demon freezes in stunned silence. His entire arm is sliced perfectly clean off. But true terror strikes when his demonic regeneration totally fails. Hayoung stares at her glowing hands in awe, realizing this divine energy feels absolutely nothing like her basic ice magic. The psychotic Jin suddenly flashes a terrifyingly wide grin. This holy demon-slaying aura confirms it. He has finally found the mythical child of prophecy, and his sick heart races at the thought of personally murdering a legend. But a lazy voice yawns, completely shattering his villainous monologue. Our hilariously overpowered main character finally drops in. With maximum swagger, he smirks and firmly declares that he will be the only one doing the killing today. Furious at the interruption, Jin unleashes a catastrophic wave of dark magic. Our boy yawns, casually summoning an impenetrable shield. He ruthlessly counters, firing a terrifying volley of magic bullets that annihilate him instantly. The bleeding villain is absolutely mind-blown. How does a random student possess such an ocean of mana? Our hero trolls him, casually flexing his veteran experience level, before aiming his weapon for the ultimate finishing strike. Desperate, Jin burns his life force for a suicidal plunge toward Hayoung. Too bad he is too slow. Unfazed, our hero locks on with flawless precision, completely obliterating the pathetic demon into absolute dust. Ding! The system chimes, boosting his causality stats, and awarding the legendary savior title. Brushing off the epic victory, he simply smiles, genuinely relieved that Hayoung survived that insane death flag. Her sudden awakening was undeniably chaotic. He knows these filthy demons will endlessly swarm the academy now. However, he confidently smirks, fully trusting that Hayoung and Seojun will fiercely level up through this brutal adversity. Later in the hospital, Ara bitterly scrolls through flashy news headlines praising their heroic defense. Her heart aches with imposter syndrome. How can the world call her a brave hero when she was literally completely helpless? Hayoung sweetly insists she did amazing, but a grumpy Ara orders her back to bed. Hayoung gently reminds Ara about shielding her from the initial strike, even if she comically fainted like an absolute clown right after. Thankfully, the academy granted them a long vacation, since exams are finally over. Breaking the silence, Ara awkwardly asks about the terrifying boss fight. Why didn't Hayoung just run away? They are barely even close friends. Why risk her precious life for a total stranger? Hae-young blushes adorably, shyly, murmuring that literally anyone would do the same. Her eyes soften, vividly recalling a warm-hearted savior who rescued her from utter absolute despair. That beautiful memory forged her iron resolve to become someone else's shining hero. She gently tells Ara there is absolutely zero shame in asking for a lifeline. But the very second she drops the word help, Ara's expression instantly darkens. The word slices through her like a cursed blade. Plunging into a tragic flashback, she remembers her childhood home violently engulfed in roaring flames. Trapped beneath the suffocating rubble, her desperate parents begged strangers to carry their precious daughter away. The heartbroken girl screamed, violently dragged away while watching her beloved parents burn. Snapping back to harsh reality with a pained expression, a defensive Ara stubbornly bites back, declaring she never ever needs anyone's pathetic help. But Hae-young stubbornly demands she at least thank their glorious savior, Sunwoo. Without his god-tier timing, both of them would be literal ghost meat right now. Ara's eyes widen in absolute shock at this crazy revelation. She frantically questions what that means. With perfect comedic timing, Hae-young tells the man himself to explain. The curtain dramatically slides open, revealing our awkward boy casually waving hello. He scratches his head, mentioning he visited for a reason. He awkwardly admits he brought a little present today. To be dangerously specific, fat stacks of reward cash from the demon hunting quest. Ara's jaw instantly drops to the floor. Why the heck is this overpowered dude sharing his precious loot? He casually shrugs, claiming the boss monster was already at 1 HP thanks to her fierce attacks. He merely stole the final kill shot. However, driven by pure tsundere pride, Ara fiercely rejects the heavy bag of cash on principle. She bluntly orders him to shower his generosity on Hae-young instead. But right before storming off, her face explodes into a furious tomato red blush. Looking away, she whispers a heart fluttering, "Tiny thank you for fiercely protecting her." Our main character sweats, thinking his riz was way too aggressive. But the system totally trolls his doubts, chiming in that her affection level just leveled up, plus bonus points. Ha-young insists her friend is just a classic tsundere with sky-high pride. Boom! With that, he finally hits the 20,000-point jackpot, enough to buy that sweet magic pocket. Meanwhile, in the hallway, Ara scoffs. Sunwoo, claiming the demon was half dead? What a troll. That beast had not even gone berserk. She bets he totally solo killed that monster. Combat is not his main skill, yet his exam performance was pure legendary tier. The guy is an absolute, undeniable genius. Ha-young's insane power-up? All his doing. Why hide such godly talent as a background mob? In her mind, the only tragic excuse for such epic stealth is if those dark elites took his family. Cutting back to reality, he double-checks if she kept her overpowered awakening a secret, just like their little pact. The girl nods, knowing bragging about her new stats would definitely pull mad aggro. She is super hyped to solo clear a demon someday. Our boy totally plays along, faking peak excitement for her future boss fights. Secretly, he is just thrilled. Hae-young awakened a whole month early. This massive head start means he can power level her stats to perfectly counter the Demon King. Hyped up, he promises her an absolutely brutal training arc. "Ask me anything," he flexes. Blushing hard, Ha-young grabs his sleeve, whispering she heard he desperately sprinted to her. The second the barrier fell. Drowning in his sudden attention, she shyly asks if he likes her. But our absolute Chad just grabs her hand without missing a beat, and hilariously friendzones her on the spot. "Zero romance here," he declares. He only hard-carried her midterms because her explosive demon fight showed straight-up S-class potential. That blast just triggered his gamer instincts to rush in. Hearing this, Hae-young feels weirdly relieved. My guy then totally trolls her. "Were you expecting a love confession?" Cue the mega blush. She awkwardly laughs off the teasing. Our protagonist seriously never expected this pure girl to catch feelings so fast. But hold up, she belongs with the real main cast, not some background NPC like him. She pouts slightly, completely crushed. But then, she literally slaps down a fat envelope stuffed with millions, totally ready to buy his VIP tutoring. Smelling that sweet cash, our boy instantly goes goblin mode. He swears on his life to forge her into an unstoppable killing machine, setting their hellish training for tomorrow morning. But wait, his jaw literally hits the floor. A clean 15 million just casually dropped into his bank account. Soon enough, the daily academy grind kicks off once again. Our boy finally levels up to the elite special talents class. Now, sitting with the overpowered big shots, he can easily puppet the future timeline like an absolute mastermind. But the second he sits, an arrogant blondie instantly trolls him, calling him a sewer rat. This rich kid throws a massive tantrum, furious that a half-dead demon scavenger dare breathe his holy air. Our boy just yawns, calmly stating he cleared the teacher's quest fair and square. Triggered beyond belief, the blonde snob threatens to physically throw him out the damn window. "Leave or get wrecked," he barks. Suddenly, Seojun calls out to Iwan, bringing backup. Iwan cries that our boy tanked the class average, but Seojun memorized his exact high score. Ara smirks, dropping the ultimate roast. Our boy actually outranks Iwan, meaning the blonde dingus is the real deadweight here. That critical hit destroys the rich kid's ego. Snapping totally, Iwan yells, "She cares too much about a loser." He wildly throws a cheap sucker punch, but our boy casually catches the fist, squeezing it until bones nearly crunch. Iwan rages so hard his hand literally catches fire. Faint flames dance on his knuckles. But before any epic clash, a sudden kick sends the blonde flying downstairs, instantly getting Yamcha posed on the floor, right where trash belongs. The whole elite class watches this glorious comedy. Turns out, the hardcore task force loves crashing the special talents room for some surprise event drops. Agent Hyun-soo laughs, telling our boy his genius midterm plays were pure cinema. But looking at the KO'd blonde, Hyun-soo playfully wonders if his entrance was a bit too savage. Honestly, this agent was totally mind-blown when his boss ordered him to babysit teenagers. The crazy twist? There are actual demonic spies lurking deep inside the academy walls. His stealth quest? Sniff out the demonic imposter hiding among them. The agent flashes a cool smile, introducing himself to the hyped class. The students immediately start buzzing with wild curiosity. They beg to know if they get to raid a real demon dungeon. Instructor Hyun-soo just chuckles, brutally roasting their dreams. He clearly states noob players like them never get carried straight to the boss room. Instead, they will scout a low-level monster zone under his watchful eye. Since this tutorial drill is actually deadly, he orders them to scream if they sense any sus demon vibes. In reality, this whole map is just a heavily nerfed training ground. The task force fully cleared this dungeon ages ago. They even spammed magic cameras everywhere. Since the special class enjoys elite VIP perks, the instructor is dead set that the demon mole is definitely camping in this very room. But our boy already read the whole script. He knows every task force play. He even knows the clever mole's identity, completely trolling their entire undercover operation. That sneaky mole will totally play stealth mode. Right now, our hero only cares about one epic loot drop, making sure Seojun accidentally discovers the S-rank treasure hidden nearby. He also needs to carry Seojun through this phase. Just as his gamer brain predicted, the instructor drops the duo matching quest. Our hero fully intends to ride out the original timeline, without breaking the game. But panic hits. What if his mere existence totally glitches the pairing RNG? Hilariously, the system trolls him hard, and he accidentally steals Seojun's main girl. The poor beauty looks super confused. Why is he pouting when he scored an S-tier waifu like her? Meanwhile, every single guy in the room is fuming with pure, unfiltered jealousy. How did a complete nobody snatch their absolute queen? Deep in thought, she figures a legendary hero like Seojun might find her annoying, but she is totally mind-blown that this painfully average senior is somehow disappointed to party up with her. Anyway, the dungeon raid begins. Seojun silently trails behind her totally unbothered senior, plotting her next move. She weirdly loves that he is not simping over her at all. Still, her trust issues flare up. How did this literal bottom feeder randomly hack his way into the elite class? His sudden main character energy makes her super suspicious. Perfect timing. The system delightfully trolls him, flashing a sweet bonus point reward just because the pretty girl is getting obsessed. Not like he needs the notification. He can literally feel her intense, tsundere glare burning a hole through his skull. Breaking the awkward silence, he cheerfully points out a random quest objective in the distance. The sharp-witted queen flashes a blindingly sweet, totally fake smile. She acts super thrilled to follow her senior, but deep down inside, she is fully plotting to absolutely crush whatever evil trap he is cooking. Her overly bubbly act honestly throws him off. That incredibly sus twinkle in her eye totally betrays her. She is 100% plotting some crazy drama. He suddenly remembers her desperate plan to team up with Seojun just to leech off his massive academy clout. A brilliant troll idea strikes. He can totally use her social climbing obsession to shove her straight into Seojun's arms, saving the canon timeline. Cue the girl's awkward, forced small talk. She praises his epic climb from complete loser to elite student in just one semester. Then, her aura instantly turns freezing cold. She casually warns him that surviving this class might cost him his life. Making the wrong enemies here is a fatal mistake. You see, Choi Soo-young literally won the genetic lottery. Looks, insane talent, the ultimate genius starter pack. But the dark truth behind her flawless image was her elite family's utterly soul-crushing expectations. That toxic pressure forged her into a terrifyingly manipulative ice queen. She fakes a sweet smile for the masses, but only keeps truly useful pawns around her. She understands the brutal rules of high society perfectly. Sunwoo tilts his head, playfully asking who these so-called enemies are. Rolling her eyes, she bluntly calls him totally clueless. Does he seriously think Ewan is the only hater gunning for his head? But our boy just smirks. He arrogantly declares that those pathetic extras mean absolutely nothing. Surviving this elite class is the only way to achieve his ultimate master plan. Hearing his unyielding resolve, Seojun freezes. Dark memories of her controlling father, commanding her to blindly obey her predetermined fate, flood her mind. A bitter wave of sorrow washes over her. Having genuine ambitions? A personal destiny? Suddenly, it completely clicks why all the strict instructors are so utterly fascinated by this weird guy. Her heart flutters with a newfound, dangerous curiosity about his true motives. But suddenly, a violently toxic aura of pure murderous intent locks onto their backs. He violently yanks her into his chest. A massive fireball obliterates the space they just stood in. The ambush comes from the brain-dead blonde aristocrat himself, Park Ewan. The arrogant noble barks that this is his final chance to drop out alive. Our trolling hero just smirks, playfully asking what happens if he refuses. Trembling with blinding fury, Ewan maniacally unleashes a devastating storm of blazing arrows. Meanwhile, back at base, Agent Yejin monitors the entire battlefield through her multi-angle surveillance magic. The support mage skeptically questions if a demonic spy is genuinely hiding among these brats. She reports to Hyunsoo that the sector remains dead quiet. The cadets are just casually hunting monsters like normal. But Hyunsoo remains paranoid. He insists that a demon would definitely contact its dark masters out here. He commands her to hyper-focus on anyone sneaking past the boundary. Suddenly, alarm bells ring on a camera feed. 3 students are locked in a wildly destructive, absolute death match out in the woods. Back to the chaos. Our boy calculates Ewan's ridiculously fast casting speed. Not bad for aristocratic trash. To protect his grand scheme, he orders Seojun to fall back immediately. Instead, she ruthlessly stomps on the blonde loser's fragile ego. She brutally mocks his pathetic inferiority complex. First crying over Seojun, and now throwing a tantrum over Sunwoo? How humiliating. The blondie's sanity completely snaps. Seeing his ultimate crush side with a loser drives him feral. He summons apocalyptic fire tornadoes that violently shatter the hidden surveillance cameras. Hyunsoo instantly gears up to intercept. He swore no cadet would die on his watch, but Yejin furiously screams at him to stop. Deploying now will totally blow their demon hunting operation. Gritting his teeth, he orders her to report every micro-movement. He desperately prays this does not turn into a bloody massacre, especially since Ewan has a notoriously toxic grudge against Sunwoo. Not to mention, a precious heiress of the 5 great families is caught in the crossfire. Back at the battlefield, Ewan unleashes his ultimate barrage without an ounce of hesitation. Seojun desperately deploys a magic barrier, but just as the agonizing heat threatens to shatter her shield, our hero's calm voice echoes. Did he not tell her to stand back and watch the show? In his past life, he silently witnessed every disgusting crime Ewan ever committed. He never stepped in. Back then, he was just a pathetic background character. But now, he knows this blonde clown is entirely useless to the future timeline. So, with a devilish smirk, he casually charges up an absolutely devastating spell. No holding back, Ewan's jaw drops as gravity itself seems to crush him under Sunwoo's monstrous magical pressure. Zero mercy mode activated. If this idiot had only targeted him, it would be fine. But dragging the girl into his pathetic tantrum? Unforgivable. Sunwoo brutally slams him into the dirt. Pointing his weapon like a loaded gun, he calmly asks, for one single reason, to spare his miserable life. The arrogant noble instantly drops to his hands and knees. He pathetically grovels in the dirt, sobbing and begging for the master's mercy. Our boy is half tempted to vaporize him anyway. But Seojun coldly suggests he should not waste precious mana on absolute garbage. Smirking, Sunwoo aggressively grabs the crying loser by the hair. He whispers a chilling threat. Run as far as possible, because next time, he dies. The clown pathetically begs to keep this fight a secret, absolutely grinding our hero's nerves. He kicks the trash away, and Ewan sprints off like a terrified rat. Just do not forget the deal. Meanwhile, back in the tense control room, Yejin frantically alerts Hyunsoo. The aggressively violent student is retreating, but his body is absolutely wrecked from head to toe. Back in the cursed forest, Ewan is suffering the most humiliating day ever. First, the supposedly weak hero, and now a terrifying Black Ops agent is hunting him. Our hero casually prays he did not break the timeline. Suddenly, Seojun's soft fingers gently brush his wounded neck. She smiles playfully, teasingly impressed that a rank 20 just completely annihilated the number 5 student. It proves there is a massive flaw. With the Academy's pathetic ranking system, he awkwardly deflects, joking it is a tragedy she did not get partnered with Seojun instead, but she calmly replies, she is just incredibly happy he fiercely protected her. Ding! The system signals her romantic interest is skyrocketing. Out of nowhere, she boldly confesses, he used to be incredibly annoying. Early on, he just looked like an arrogant attention-seeking troll. However, her cold heart completely melted. After witnessing his true, overwhelming power today, he smirks, curiously asking what her updated review is. She giggles, calling him unexpectedly hilarious. Flirtation aside, she suggests they start moving, to prove his combat skills to the other snobs. Suddenly, a gigantic, terrifying cobra monster drops from the shadows. She freezes in absolute terror, but our boy just yawns, casually preparing to strike. Before he can even lift a finger, flash! A blinding blade of light magic ruthlessly decapitates the beast. He smirks wickedly. His ultimate chess piece has finally arrived. The novel's true protagonist crashes the party. He humbly claims he was just patrolling to protect the weaker cadets, but has not encountered any real threats yet. He chuckles dryly, disappointed that this so-called danger zone is an absolute joke. Seojun instantly flips her social switch, smoothly flirting and showering the golden boy with praise. She aggressively tries recruiting him to her elite family guild. Our trolling main character sighs in deep relief. The main leads are finally united. Now, he just needs to guide them toward the dungeon's legendary secret stage. Plot twist. He deliberately dragged her through this exact forest path just to force this fateful encounter. Putting on an Oscar-winning surprised face, he frantically points toward a mysterious, pulsing blue light hidden in the distance. Hook, line, and sinker. With their adventurous curiosity piqued, he smoothly suggests they raid the glowing cave together. Stepping into the shadows, they instantly stumble into the terrifying hidden stage. The difficulty spikes to nightmarish levels, but the brutal struggle guarantees legendary, game-breaking loot. Back in the original timeline, the hero duo conquered this exact raid with flawless, breathtaking synergy. That epic victory, combined with claiming an S-rank weapon, violently skyrockets his fame across the entire nation. But the real jackpot? Her massive character development. After playing the ultimate wingman, Sunwoo is absolutely buzzing. This ship is finally sailing. He practically cheers, ready for action. But our buzzkill hero immediately rejects the plan, demanding they report this hazard. To the task force? Sunwoo desperately tries to pause Seojun's Boy Scout routine. Meanwhile, the girl is lured by an eerie whisper echoing from the water. She touches the cursed ripples, completely blind to the deadly trap. Seojun's overpowered instincts scream danger, just as a terrifying phantom witch materializes. The witch easily charms the helpless girl, vanishing like sinister smoke before the boys can blink. Sunwoo's jaw drops. An unprovoked attack? The timeline is totally screwed again. Watching the monster drag away his perfect romantic subplot, Sunwoo snaps into action. "Follow me," he barks, ignoring our goody two-shoes hero's desperate plea for backup. Waiting is a literal death sentence. Sunwoo drops the harsh truth. That hideous creature violently sucks its victims dry of every last drop of mana. It leaves behind nothing but an empty husk. Realizing the terrifying stakes, Seojun abandons the rules and charges in. Meanwhile, Hyunsoo aggressively interrogates Yuan outside. "Why attack your classmates, punk?" Yuan stubbornly denies everything, totally playing the victim. The icy agent demands to know why he ran, causing Blondie to freeze. Bound by a magical gag order, the blonde brat keeps his mouth zipped. Losing his patience with this stubborn troll, Hyunsoo officially slaps the cuffs on him. He coolly radios Yejin, suspect secured, but she drops an absolute bombshell. A catastrophic emergency is actively unfolding. 3 students are completely missing. They bypassed security and entered the inactive dungeon. Hyunsoo casually shrugs it off. Relax, it is literally just a dusty, harmless cave. Suddenly, mental alarms violently scream. A hidden secret stage was just triggered. Deep underground, Seojun violently shivers as the dungeon's temperature absolutely plummets. The freezing aura is completely unbearable. Just as Seojun feels his blood turn to ice, his ultimate wingman dramatically whips out a premium fur coat. Sunwoo, the prepared genius, hoarded thermal gear in his dimensional pocket. It boasts maxed-out cold resistance and a cozy warming buff. When Seojun asks, "How did you afford this?" Sunwoo smirks, "My stock portfolio is absolutely bussing." Suddenly, they spot the girl's frantic silhouette screaming for help. Seojun blindly charges. The hero dives in, but Sunwoo ruthlessly blasts the girl point blank. The possessed damsel effortlessly blocks it, playfully praising his killer instincts. The witch is literally driving her body. She is a helpless puppet. Sunwoo instantly updates the stunned hero. We must obliterate the parasite to save the host. The witch arrogantly flaunts her stolen ice magic and promises to violently drain them next. Fortunately, Seojun's dazzling light magic is the absolute kryptonite for this filthy undead parasite. But with his future bride held hostage inside, Seojun is terrified of hurting her. The hero aggressively pushes her back with legendary swordplay, yet the witch sneers. She knows he is drastically holding back out of pure love. While Sunwoo fiercely calculates the enemy's attack patterns, the witch maliciously exploits the opening. She forces Sunwoo behind a massive ice wall, but getting cornered was a fatal trap. The witch ruthlessly bombards him with a lethal storm of jagged icicles. She is spamming magic like a hacker. Sunwoo gracefully dodges the deadly rain. When Seojun begs for a master plan, Sunwoo coldly declares, "Locate the true body. Find it, even under this freezing hellscape." Seojun is sweating bullets. In the previous timeline, he literally nuked the entire area, but doing that now means ultimate tragedy. Instead, Sunwoo dramatically throws all his faith onto the hero. Meanwhile, surface side, Ewan finally breaks. The little troll confesses his fragile ego caused the whole miserable brawl. Hyunsu facepalms, realizing he wrongfully arrested a mere petty bully. He fiercely demands if the kids in the death trap dungeon are completely unrelated to this mess. Crying ugly tears, Blondie vehemently swears his innocence. An enraged teacher absolutely verbally destroys the agent for failing to protect the students. Hyunsu desperately promises a rescue operation. "We will forcefully breach the gate. Otherwise, the kids are completely at the mercy of a cruel fate." A massive crowd of panicking students and teachers quickly swarms the entrance. The terrifying news spreads like wildfire. Ara furiously stomps her foot, desperate to question the mysterious boy who just saved her. Back in the frozen hellscape, Sunwoo looks Seojun in the eye. "I believe in your overpowered stats. Nuke her. I will draw aggro." Suddenly, the monster detects a terrifying surge in the dungeon's mana. She desperately attempts a cowardly backstab, but Sunwoo roars, "Stop pretending you are weak, Seojun. Unleash your god-tier potential and obliterate her." Seojun has horrible flashbacks to the Great Demon War. He always hid his absurd power, terrified his normie friends would feel hopelessly inadequate. But this beautiful bromance changes everything. As Seojun declares he is taking off the kid gloves, the arrogant witch playfully mocks his grand speech. Big mistake. A devastating crimson aura aggressively engulfs his blade. The witch's jaw hits the floor as apocalyptic levels of energy gather. "Blast this entire dungeon into space," Sunwoo mercilessly orders. Absolutely terrified of getting deleted, the cowardly parasite frantically abandons the girl's body. Sunwoo ruthlessly snipes the fleeing spirit mid-air. Enraged, the witch flinches, and Seojun delivers the ultimate judgment. His blinding light magic cleanly bisects the wretched harpy. An absolute one-shot kill. Outside, the exhausted support mages are practically weeping. "We breached 2% of the barrier. That is our absolute limit. Adding more mages is completely useless." Hyunsu rigidly prepares to get aggressively fired by his boss. He deeply bows and delivers the dreadful report to his superior. "I let Seojun wander into a lethal B-rank death trap." Surprisingly, the boss just chuckles. "Just chill, agent. That kid is literally a walking natural disaster. He is fine." Hyunsu's brain breaks at that logic. Suddenly, the dungeon gate erupts in a blinding, majestic golden flare. The students scream boss fight, but Ara smiles knowingly. She knows exactly whose overpowered holy magic that is. Inside, Seojun awkwardly watches his basic sword literally disintegrate from his own ridiculous mana output. Just then, a majestic blade glows in the rubble. "Keep the loot. You did the heavy lifting." Sunwoo laughs. The hero casually plucks the legendary weapon from the stone. Seojun is practically crying over his bro's absolute generosity with an obvious S-rank item. Meanwhile, Sunwoo greedily collects a massive system reward for carrying the main character. But Sunwoo shifts to ultimate wingman mode. The girl is in critical condition, utterly drained of her life force. Seojun desperately rushes back after hoarding the dungeon drops, and violently panics over his unconscious crush. Sunwoo smirks and dramatically reveals an ice spirit's heart, a cheat item that restores her completely and permanently buffs her stats. The magic works instantly. Her eyes flutter open, but a cute blush creeps across her cheeks, seeing two guys staring at her like she is a rare artifact. The boys just grin, relieved she is safe and sound. Confused, she asks where on earth they are. Our guy casually explains they are chilling in a dungeon because a boss monster kidnapped her. Playing the ultimate troll wingman, he loudly brags how Seojun heroically slaughtered the boss to save her. She gasps in utter shock. Two fellow students cleared a secret dungeon alone. The exit portal glows beautifully. But before the lovebirds can skip away, our troll protagonist weakly begs for help. He claims his mana is completely drained, and he cannot move a muscle. Flawless acting. Passing out was his master plan all along. By playing weak right after Seojun wakes up, he forces the spotlight directly onto the real hero. This lets him stay beautifully under the radar. Meanwhile, the loot drop is insane. Seojun's legendary Blue Moon sword is officially appraised with 2 glorious S-rank traits. The news explodes. The Academy hero's epic feat spreads like absolute wildfire. Suddenly, every major powerhouse in the entire world is locked onto this brilliant rising star. Meanwhile, Ewan is completely busted. A brutal investigation exposes all his filthy crimes. That scumbag finally gets hit with massive karma. Sunwoo simply smiles, watching sweet justice unfold perfectly. Despite his little tweaks, the timeline is flowing perfectly. Best of all, the heart-fluttering bond between Seojun and her hero is definitely leveling up to max. Speak of the devil! Seojun cheerfully pops up, asking what he is plotting. With a bright smile, she tells him she is incredibly grateful. Playing dumb, he wonders out loud what she means. Her cheeks turn a deep shade of crimson. She admits knowing he was the one who dragged the hero into the dungeon. She knows he fought fiercely for her life. Panicking, he aggressively denies it. He furiously points at Seojun as the true savior. Our guy tries way too hard to dodge the romantic credit. He swears beating the boss was impossible without the hero. But Seojun just smiles gently. She does not buy his clueless act for 1 second, remembering his desperate, worried eyes. Still, she playfully drops it and waves goodbye. Ding! The system hits him with juicy bonus points. Why? Because her affection level for him just hit level 2. Oops! He accidentally charmed a main character again. He swears to unleash his ultimate stealth mode next time. The scene instantly transitions to the sweaty, iron-pumping school gym. Our boy struts in with a massive, trollish grin. Riding the coattails of Seojun's explosive fame earned him infinite points. He instantly bought a broken trait, Secret of Evolution. This crazy cheat skill grants new abilities upon clearing specific conditions. Basically, if he survives extreme suffering without crying, his body adapts to literally anything. Just then, the golden boy hero waves hello. He asks why our stealth master is hitting the gym. He jokes about getting ripped, then casually asks how life feels at the top. Seojun plays it cool, but a friend points to a horde of fanboys obsessively copying his every breath. Meanwhile, Ara is grinding her training arc harder than ever before. Her pride refuses to stay in the hero's shadow. Suddenly, Seojun points out something weird. The hardcore gym teacher is completely missing today, which makes 0 sense. A random student drops a chilling lore bomb. The teacher is on emergency watch duty. Why? Because a totally bloodless corpse was just discovered on the academy grounds. Seojun's heroic instincts flare up immediately. A bloodless body? That screams demon attack. But his fanboy just laughs it off, hyping up Seojun to save the day again like always. While everyone laughs, our protagonist is sweating bullets. The threat is real. A demon spy is still hiding inside the academy, watching their every move from the shadows. Speak of the devil. Senior Park Minnie glides in, gracefully handing the hero a towel. The surrounding boys instantly start drooling like thirsty internet moderators. Seojun politely thanks her. The academy's dream girl flashes a dazzling angelic smile, wishing him luck. But that perfect, sweet persona is nothing but a terrifying mask. Behind those pretty eyes, she is the very blood-sucking demon hunting at night. Later that dark evening, Chon-hee greets her right after a fresh kill. She wipes the blood, asking why her master dropped by unannounced. He coolly replies, he is just checking up on his asset. He claims he was worried after her father was brutally slain. The sinister boss then casually asks for a progress report. Instantly, her calm facade crumbles into pure frustration. Getting close to Hyun-soo is impossible, and orders strictly forbid her from touching Jin-woo. She is boiling with rage, forced to watch the rats who ruined her family run free. Furious, she screams she is absolutely not fine. The boss just chuckles coldly. He reveals Seojun is likely the legendary child of prophecy. His explosive growth is no accident. The boss confirms his terrifying suspicion. When the Great Barrier randomly collapsed, it proved that boy is the ultimate chosen one. His demon-slaying aura is simply too dangerous. Can she finally tear him apart? But her boss ruthlessly shatters her confidence with a single question. Can she truly kill a literal genius? She practically growls back. It is not about winning or losing. She will slaughter him at any cost. Suddenly, the shadowy demon Sungjin manifests. He praises her delightfully twisted mindset. Cheon-hee instantly slams her knees to the ground, bowing deeply before the terrifying Lord Sungjin. The demon lord wanted to see this crazy girl in person. Smiling wickedly, he offers her absolute power to crush the prophecy child. But the catch? She must swear absolute loyalty. She joins the command of the king. Meanwhile, the scene shifts. Deep inside the Pandemonium dungeon, Young is absolutely destroying monsters to grind her stats. Her magic is so terrifying, the poor monsters are literally sprinting away on their stubby legs. Our mastermind calmly nods, noting her mana control is leveling up beautifully. He acts like a strict coach, telling her to focus, but inside, her heart is doing backflips. She is secretly thrilled he invited her to an isolated dungeon. No one else knows about this secret grinding spot. He casually found it in his past life. Bursting with demons, it serves as the ultimate training ground, perfect for forging pure willpower. He curiously asks what drives her magic. The clueless, adorable girl simply blushes. She confesses she just thinks really hard about protecting her loved ones. That pure desire to save everyone, that exact willpower makes her demon-slaying magic hit like a truck. But then, she totally catches him off guard with a bold second confession. Her second motivation? Reaching the elite special class to stay by his side. He flashes a reassuring smile. Keep grinding, and she will definitely crush that goal. Young's face lights up like a Christmas tree. Training in private dungeons? To this love-struck girl, this gruesome monster-slaughtering session feels exactly like a romantic date. He already skyrocketed from rank 80 to 50. With his genius planning, she will definitely hit the special class next year. Everything is falling perfectly into his mastermind trap. Ding! His evolution trait suddenly grants him night vision. Armed with new hacks, his next brutal objective is crystal clear. Time to hunt down the demon spy. Minnie. In the first timeline, she hunted Seojun down to avenge her father. But that never made sense. After all, Agent Hyunsoo and I were the ones who actually defeated her. My gamer senses tingled. Something was terribly wrong. I had to strike first before chaos erupted. Then, out of nowhere, Senior Minya cornered me when my guard was completely down. Did this predator track me on purpose? Blushing faintly, she whispered that I supposedly wanted a word with her. Maintaining eye contact, I reached into my coat, declaring it a life or death matter. Bam! I whipped out my phone and dropped a shameless love confession. Phase 1 of my master troll plan was a resounding success. Instantly, the system flashed a brilliant warning. Her affection dived into pure, unadulterated disgust. I even scored bonus system points for getting brutally rejected for the very first time. Shuddering with revulsion, she coldly declared our stars were completely misaligned. She friend-zoned me to the senior-junior rank and stormed off. Fuming. Her murderous intent spiked. She was already plotting to erase my existence, disgusted that a mere mortal dared to court her non-human greatness. Ouch, that stung my ego for a hot second. But whatever, my tragic heartbreak performance served its true purpose. Baiting the eavesdropping young Jun. Lurking behind the wall, my bro offered solemn condolences. He understood the fatal allure of our gorgeous senior. Wiping away fake tears, I smoothly switched gears and asked the poor soul about our brutal magic theory assignment. Right on cue, his face completely melted into despair. The guy was a physical combat beast, but absolute academic trash when it came to complex sorcery. His meathead brain was practically short-circuiting. Striking while the iron was hot, I dangled the ultimate bait. My completed homework. The price? A tiny favor. I humbly requested his exclusive administrative access to the Academy's sacred announcement board. By breakfast, explosive rumors had already engulfed the entire campus. Students choked on their food, absolutely paralyzed that some background character dared hijack the public network. Nobody ever glanced my way before. But this scheme was flawless. I farmed 250 new system stalkers overnight. My brilliant post was a hyper-aggressive warning. Any dude breathing near my senior faced my wrath. I publicly crowned Minya as my one and only queen. Claiming her exclusively was the ultimate cringe tactic. Even veteran professors were utterly baffled by this modern, unhinged flavor of unrequited teenage romance. Seojun grabbed his popcorn, thoroughly amused by my majestic clown show. Meanwhile, Hyun gossiped with Ara, shocked by my sudden thirst for older women. Ara furiously denied it, praying it was an elaborate meme. Yet, Hyun genuinely pitied my poor, lovesick soul. Sweating buckets nearby, young Jun panicked over his role in my digital terrorism. Beside him, the Academy's top genius was literally crying from laughing so hard. I shot the boys a slick thumbs up for their complicity. Young Jun awkwardly chanted a fighting cheer for my doomed romance. Suddenly, the cafeteria doors flew open. My glorious, trap-springing moment had arrived. Minya stepped inside with her squad, radiating absolute murderous intent. She looked ready to vaporize me. By thrusting her into center stage, I had completely shattered her ability to skulk in the shadows. Hunting Seojun was now totally impossible for her. Since my reputation was already rock bottom, this kamikaze play cost me zero pride. To pour gasoline on the fire, I shot her a cheeky public wink. Her clueless friends teased that her goddess-level beauty naturally attracted academy weirdos like me. Her veins bulged with suppressed fury. The spotlight had completely paralyzed her dark assassination mission. Taking out Seojun was officially off the menu. Rubbing glorious salt in the wound, I waved a sickly sweet goodbye. Trapped by hundreds of staring eyes, the frustrated assassin spun on her heels and retreated. Crisis averted like a total boss. Next up, preparing for the chaotic arc where Seojun would steal the show. Flash forward to midnight. Stern security agents forcefully ushered the final tourists out. The prestigious American Museum was officially closing its doors. Elite guards commenced heavy rotations, locking down the legendary soul vessel. This cursed ancient artifact was infamous for devouring endless human spirits. 13 years ago, a nightmare syndicate named John weaponized it. Their rampage birthed the century's most devastating bloodbath. Fortunately, the supreme chairman of the Magic Association descended like a god to obliterate them. He executed their villainous leader himself. As a trophy of justice, the vessel was entrusted to him. It slumbered safely in the Antiquities Museum. But just as the chief curator relaxed, logging the relic's safety, a lethal shadow glided up behind him. Her footsteps were eerily silent. The panicked official tried escorting her out, but she treated him like invisible dust. Her hungry eyes remained glued to the glowing soul vessel. She sneered that such god-tier power should not rot in a boring exhibit. Trembling, the curator stammered that its dark energy was strictly contained by the world's most elite magicians. Her aura flared coldly. The only master worthy of it, she hissed, was the king Chairman Jin Chul had slaughtered. Outraged, the brave curator fired back. The artifact was reclaimed from terrorist scum for humanity's sake. Annoyed by his heroic speech, crackling lightning danced across her fingertips. Sweating pure terror, the curator desperately slammed his radio to summon backup. Too late. Her mountain-sized comrade, Scar, had already folded the security team outside like cheap lawn chairs. The curator gasped. Every single guard was supposed to be an untouchable, a rank elite. Only one poor soul managed to smash the alarm before catching hands. Suddenly, a chaotic girl wielding a blazing crimson staff shattered the magical vault. Smirking, she complained about the script change. Were they not just supposed to intimidate the boss, not massacre the staff? When the bleeding guards demanded their identities, the villains simply smiled. Their fallen master's chaotic legacy was far from dead. The Syndicate of John had returned. Deeply offended by the filthy criminal comment, the Lightning Witch unleashed hell. She blasted the poor guy with a thunderbolt so explosive, it obliterated every single glass pane in the entire museum. By morning, breaking news of John's horrific terror strike paralyzed our academy. The witch's chilling grin was plastered across every leaked security photo. A mysterious overlord named Bert was supposedly orchestrating this madness. Staring at the broadcast, Ara's face turned completely ashen. Sensing her rising panic, Hyun gently asked if she was going to hurl. Trembling, she faked a sickness to ditch early. I just watched in silence. My gamer foresight knew this prologue would inevitably end in a bloody war against the John Syndicate. Deep within the villain's lair, their boss smirked at her televised infamy. Beside her, a dangerously sharp assassin in a tailored suit sighed. Jin was utterly disgusted by their loud, messy museum raid. It totally derailed his stealth operation. Natasha just giggled, claiming the mortal dared disrespect their holy savior. Divine punishment was mandatory. Suddenly, shaking the very walls, the behemoth Scar roared that their little heist was way too boring. If he had his way, the museum and the entire city block would be a smoldering crater of absolute dominance. Jin coldly ordered the meathead to sit down. The John Syndicate were not mindless street thugs anymore. Natasha chimed in, reminding Muscle Brain that the Blade of Dawn task force was aggressively sniffing, right on their tails. To shake the heat, their leader commanded a tactical retreat into the shadows. Her destination of choice? South Korea. Both Scar and Natasha instantly grinned with bloodthirsty excitement. Korea was a buffet of elite hunters. Jin, however, adjusted his glasses, sweating nervously. Crossing paths with the monstrous Chairman Jin, Chul again was pure suicide, but the boss smiled darkly. The most perfect shadow is directly beneath the lantern. Plus, she had a very special date in mind. A certain pest named Sunwoo had officially entered their hit list. He was the key. With a smirk, she ordered Jin to forge passports. It was time to alert their Korean mole, Eun-sung, about their glorious arrival. Meanwhile, safely tucked away in a cozy Korean diner, I had equipped my Jin Woo alter ego to maintain maximum stealth. The coast was finally clear since Mr. Harry's obsessive stalking had completely faded. I needed to grind my stats to the absolute max before clashing with John. Scanning the restaurant, my eyes landed on Seojun, fidgeting nervously at our table. Her eyes sparkle like stars as he finally appears. She hands over the requested loot potions and gear galore. He inspects the boots. Wait, what? 2 legendary traits? He is completely shook. That means they cost an absolute fortune. But our girl winks, only the absolute best for her favorite guy. A totally personal gift. Suddenly, waiters bring out a 5-star feast, the most luxurious food in the region. She playfully insists it is her sacred duty to spoil her VIP customer. Our hero stares at the dripping cutlets. He remembers the lore. This stuff tastes so insanely delicious. It literally knocked Seojun out in the past life. He takes a terrified but brave bite. Boom, a flavor explosion. He completely melts in absolute heaven, while she just sits back, smiling proudly at her cute victim. He looks so adorable, enjoying her gift. Wiping his mouth, he promises to repay this elite VIP treatment. She just laughs and waves it off. No refunds or returns needed here, because their bond is way deeper than mere gold. Taking advantage of the mood, our hero casually drops a bomb. Want some juicy spoilers about that terror threat on your corporate tower? Her jaw drops. How does this guy literally know the future? Blushing slightly, she vents about her insane stress levels. Those annoying John copycats are running wild everywhere. They are trolling the whole city, plus the annoying sibling rivalry with her brother over the CEO throne. But lucky for her, Sunwoo holds the cheat code. He already knows the real mastermind. The threat is not the real John. It is Jo Sung-hun, just some random non-player character alchemist milking the name to scam Seojun out of her cash. He leans in and whispers, "Just audit your own security team. You will definitely catch the rat linking back to that alchemist." Fast forward, the two step outside for a totally romantic moonlight stroll. Seojun is completely captivated. This mysterious man is literally a walking cheat sheet. Batting her eyelashes, she playfully begs him to ditch his life and join her corporate empire. With him destroying her brother would be a cakewalk. She promises endless luxury and heavy bags of cash. A pure sugar mommy deal. But our edgy hero smirks. "Cash means nothing to me. I only care about protecting my buddy." She pouts but admits the truth. Giving in to money is too basic anyway. She smirks back. "Next time, I will tempt you with something much spicier." He secretly cries inside. That sugar mommy deal was so tempting. But Seojun needs his plot armor. Later, he flexes his shiny new boots, which grant him 5 whole seconds of literal air walking. He totally styles on physics, stepping on invisible clouds all the way to the next roof. Fast forward to morning law class. The students collectively die inside, as the professor drops a new assignment. 7 days until doom. Young Hyun literally begs on his knees for an extension for the slow monkeys, but gets brutally rejected. Sunwoo just sighs. Time to speedrun this whole project in 24 hours, so he can be lazy all week. While he debates who to carry, Ara suddenly claims him. "You are with me." The other fanboys instantly rage. How dare the top 2 class geniuses monopolize each other, share the brain cells. But one icy glare from the queen freezes them all. Turning back, she actually acts shy. "Are you okay being my partner?" At least she remembers consent is a real thing. He nods like an absolute Chad. She commands him to hit the training area after class. Inside, he is doing a victory dance. Teaming up with the Ice Queen was on his bucket list anyway, but his grand master plan violently derails. Boom! She aggressively wall-pins him in the corner. Staring violently into his soul, she demands the truth. "Spill it, fake boy. I already know who you really are."